other stations are tuned in too.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to
The Animal House.
Your mother's an animal. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What do you care? You're an animal. You're an animal.
Yeah.
I'm an animal.
Sonic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
I feel the need for speed.
The opinions expressed by the hosts, callers, and guests are not those of Hamilton Radio, Armed Forces Radio, Raw Talk Online, 102 DLG Radio Orlando, QStarFM.com, or Animal House Radio. Some of the material broadcast on Animal House Radio may not be suitable for listeners under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised.
Live from the Theodore Jiggett Studio in downtown Robbinsville, it's the Animal House Radio Show. And here is your host and ours, Carlo Valerio.
That is the best intro so far, Paul. You've outdone yourself
I've
today.
outdone myself.
Each time.
Yes, you're very
Outdone myself.
ostentatious today.
Oh, it
Write
starts
that
right
down.
away.
Right
Okay,
away.
ostentatious.
Right away.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. My apologies for our absence the past couple of weeks, but we're here tonight, and we miss you, and we hope you
Carlo
feel
had
the
a
same.
tick. Carlo had a tick.
I-
No, he said he had abscess. What, you got bad teeth?
Yes, I had hepatitis, and thank God it's over with.
Explains the yellow color.
Yes, I was jaundiced.
And now everybody's joining us.
Yes,
So
that's right.
freaking
You're
nightmare.
joining
And
us.
John does next week.
Mr. Artie Hoffman is having the night off. He's doing a reading in New York City.
So an Artie party.
Yeah, he's doing an let me tell you something. Them Artie parties, this guy makes more money than a hooker.
Yeah, it was not as much fun, though.
I don't know if he makes more money.
I don't know if he's
Because you must be going to cheap hookers, because I don't think that's
the time. Well, yeah, it's a massage polish, 55 minutes
I
for
don't
what is
know.
it?
They
$55 for 15
I
minutes?
know, you would know. I wouldn't
you
know.
have a paper bag over their head, though?
Oh, I don't know.
For that price?
See, I won't go to a massage parlor because they rub me the wrong way.
There we go. He'll be here all week, folks.
Try to feel.
Try to feel. It's the best in the city. I'll have it. All right. Anyway, I want to say hello to all our sister stations, all our men and women overseas on American Forces Network. We love you, miss you, and hope you get home safe soon.
And the ones that are home, be safe also.
Absolutely.
Hey, I miss our president. He's overseas.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, he's doing he's doing what he's supposed. He's doing protocol.
He's doing a lot of things.
Really? It means he's got an erection?
Yeah,
He's always got
absolutely.
a wife like that.
And at his age, it's a milestone. Also, Q-Star FM, Steve Jarrett, Raw Talk Online, 102 DLG Radio Orlando, and last but certainly not least, Syndicate Radio.
Long Island.
Yes, out on the Strong Island, representing. And
Hello, Dino.
hello, Dino. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? So I tried. I was at the this private event over the weekend, Saturday.
Well, you got to whip your nuts out?
Yeah. How did you know, Tim?
Private's event.
Were you? Yeah.
He was wearing a cup, though.
It was a very nice event. The lady, I met her at a previous show with Elliot from El Rene.
Right.
And she goes, listen, we do this thing every year where her husband was almost tragically killed in a motorcycle accident 10 years ago. So every year they do like a celebration of his life.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it was great. And she had like 150 people in like this room. Her backyard was like, you ever see like Rodney Dangerfield and Easy Money where everybody was in the backyard?
In this room?
That's how big her backyard was.
I doubt it. It was bigger than that.
It was a little wider, but it was
So
tight.
you're lying to the audience. Is
He's
that what you're
lying.
saying? He's lying to the audience.
It was really a beautiful home. It was
Yeah,
a
but
ranch.
Not even 5 minutes
It
in the
was
show
like-
and you're lying to the
There
audience.
was
No, he's not.
There was like 10 at least rectangle tables going across the yard.
He might have
One right into the
astigmatism.
other.
Yeah.
And there was like at least 20 people on each table.
The condition of the home is, I did not say anything. She has a beautiful home,
The
but
yard
it
it wasn't like Easy Money. Easy
it
Money
was
was
tight.
more square.
From the stage that they
Funicular,
set up
funicular.
to the tables they had up was maybe 4 feet, if we're lucky.
I doubt it.
Well, listen, look at the video. So anyway, they have a band. Her husband's in a band called Catastrophe of Quartet, and they were going to play throughout the evening. So they wanted some. Every year they hire a comedian to, just do a little entertaining. So I went and I brought Gisela and the kids and Dante, who is so. I gotta love this kid. He is the apple of my eye. This kid. I love Joseph too, but me and Dante had that certain bond and. I said, Dante, I want you to open for me because remember, Paul, when we did the show at Bon Appetito, he opened for you?
Yeah.
And at first he's like, no, I don't want. I said, listen.
Well, because
He goes,
after opening up for Paul, he figured.
there's nowhere to
He
go.
was
but down.
appalled.
There's nowhere. But
Yeah, I got news for you. It's good luck for him because everybody opens up and he becomes famous. So.
yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. Where am I waiting on the train?
Well, he said the first time.
Oh, okay. But he's like, can I write my own jokes? I go, no, I'll write them all down. He goes, okay, I'll do it. Like, I didn't have to twist his arm. And then he went, and then we're sitting in her, she had like this little den, I guess you can consider it the green room. So I'm sitting down in Dante's. I wrote his jokes out on an index card because I knew he wasn't going to
It
memorize.
was all dice jokes.
Yeah, right.
So I'm on the line at the bank. 7 come 11, that kind of dice?
Next year.
You mean Otto's jokes?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wrote him down, and he's talking to me, and I'm like, Dante, say your joke, and then give a few seconds, and then say your punchline. He's like, should I turn to the left and go like this and face them? And like he had all the new. I didn't even have to tell him that. He came up with this on his own.
And for anybody listening, if you want to watch the video, it's on Gisela Bella. Just go to YouTube, Gisela Bella, search the video. He's right there.
Yeah, what is the
Dante's comedy debut.
Yeah. 8 years old, and he's a natural.
Wasn't his debut, though.
It wasn't his debut. No.
Well,
but for 150 people, I thought that was really.
Yeah, he wasn't
ballsy.
shy.
I really didn't think he was going to do it.
No, he opened phenomenal. When he said, hey, motherfuckers, I was like, this kid's got it, man.
knew, he knew.
8 years old.
Yo.
He said, what's up, bitches?
Well, it goes to prove to you that you don't have to really be vulgar to make people laugh.
Want to bet?
Okay?
I do.
I know you do.
Yes.
But he came up with like the way he told the jokes. He goes, "How did Supergirl fix the bridge?" And he goes, "Super glue." Like he didn't just say it. He had
He
all
was
the
animated, right?
Yeah, and then in the beginning he's like, "I just want to say thank you all for inviting us." And sorry for your lost. He didn't say lost. He said lost. And he was so cute. And then at the end, when he was done, he bowed like a little gentleman.
Yes,
and
he
then
did.
and
He
then
was like a little sumo.
he goes now. I would like to introduce the best, Mr. Carlo Valerio. And I was done.
And he was the only one to get your first name right, too.
Yeah.
So the lady.
And he looks so cute in the dress, too.
So the lady Debbie comes up and says, "Listen,
Little Debbie?
Yeah. So this is funny. She comes up and she's telling the whole story about her husband got in an accident. So when I got up, I go, Debbie, thank you very much for telling a tragic story before you brought up the comedian.
I heard that.
How many times have we had that done before where they make the audience start bawling?
Now for some comedy.
Yeah, now I can need a shovel to dig out, from him. But it went well. And I introduced a lot of new stuff. I took some stuff out that I tried it 3 times. If it don't work, 3 times the charm, I pull it out. So
Okay.
You pull it out, really? Right in front of the crowd?
I told you his nuts
pull
were
it
out.
right out.
Private event.
Hey, Ruben, look, if you're watching, look, I got a drink, but it's in a sip-proof cup, so...
Contigo.
Unfortunately, it drips out of his mouth, though.
But the funny thing is, he didn't know how to use it. He was
Drinking out
trying
the
to
wrong
sip it
end.
from the lock.
You couldn't wait to say that, right?
I couldn't wait to say it,
Yeah.
guys.
Doesn't even know how to work a sippy cup. That's pretty
That's
bad.
it. Well, I shouldn't. I'm not.
Don't let him handle money, Gisela.
I'm
No.
above. I'm above average intellect. So.
Yes, you are. I've been telling that to a lot of people.
So I introduced.
And they still don't believe him.
I know.
So I introduced a new bit about like when you go shopping in the supermarkets about X-rated foods and stuff, and it went over pretty good. But I got to work it a little more because it's funny. There's this product from England. It's called Finger Marie, and they're like shortbread
Is Marie
cookies.
pretty?
And I'm like, my punchline was like, I finger her. I don't even know her. Let me get to know her yet before I finger her. So I was working all them. Then there was like,
Spotted dick.
no,
That's
well,
big over there.
Well, there's so many. Oh my, you wouldn't believe it. And they're actual names of these products. Like,
Was it in the ladyfinger aisle?
I don't know. Was it all this stuff? 90% of the stuff was from like the international aisle.
Right, of course.
I guess because of the way the wording is. And then there was this American thing. It was called Star Spangled Ding Dongs. So I said, listen, I'm as patriotic as the next guy, but I'm not going to paint no flag on my dick, you know? So I was doing stuff along that lines. And,
Be
you
good
know,
for Flag Day, though.
Nah, if you got a couple of veins on there too, it could be like the stripes. You
there
know?
you go. I could be, yeah.
Genital warts. You got the stars.
And stripes, if you go a long way, it makes it
Yeah.
look longer.
All right, I'm going home. That's it.
I'm sorry. We return you to the arts.
So, Tim, you were having this big gala.
Well, she's taller than me, but yeah.
And it's an informal thing.
Informal, yeah. July 15 at City Streets in East Windsor on 130.
You like that place, don't you?
It's a cool
Yeah,
place.
well,
I like the place.
an very old friend of mine owns it.
That's
She's
like
like
your stomping
family to me.
grounds, huh?
I think it's a great setup.
That's my first stop of the night usually.
You muscled Zimmerman right out.
There's a story behind that. I was accused of skullduggery, not by
Ah,
Kurt.
he quit a long time before
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. I was-
Skullduggery. Oh, remember him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I'd say
but,
that's a cool place, though. It's nice and intimate. Everybody's right on top of you. That's what you like that from
Yeah.
comedy.
There's only one small part. Sometimes if the bar's really crowded, the noise will bleed into that room.
Yeah, but it's still got a glass partition there.
Well, this is again.
Like
It's
a
not
fish
even
tank.
a comedy show that night. It's just my friends have an acoustic duo. They're playing anyway.
I think
So,
you
yeah.
should do a one-man show.
I do, but I mean, I'm running out of lotion.
The, the life and times of
We're all
Tim
pulling for
Eli.
you.
I should because I've told you before. I know I could win an Academy Award. I just got to get my balls going and get out there.
I'm telling
What's the
you.
name of the duo?
Tanglewood, Scott and Rochelle, Tanglewood.
Now, what kind? Is that like rock or?
Acoustic rock, classic rock. Band on the Run.
Oh, cool.
Monkeys, Daydream Believer. Ramble On by Zeppelin.
Oh, I love Ramble On.
Kind of
Rochelle.
music that you would go to a concert with a meth head, and then she'd be flailing her arms, and then you leave with her later on in the evening.
Yeah.
I can't. He just doesn't.
You're right, though. You are so right.
The Tommy James concert that was originally scheduled for June 14th, for some reason something's going on at PNC. They're canceling a lot of dates. I don't
Yeah.
know why, if it's something in-house with them. But Tommy James will be at Vintage Vinyl this Friday night signing copies of his album. So if anybody...
That's in Woodbridge.
Woodbridge, yeah. So if you want, Animal House Radio is going to be in the house checking it out. I think Hardy's going to stop by because he lives right down the
Yeah.
street, he said.
Yeah, he does.
So we'll
Dragging
get a
the
chance to
line,
meet
my
Tommy
friends.
finally and hang out with him for a few minutes. So that's pretty cool. We're also, Animal House Radio will be going to the Bryan Adams Billy Idol concert.
When's that?
That's in August. So I got...
PNC.
What a pairing, though. How to put those two together.
we're getting a meet and greet with Billy Idol.
Yep.
Cool.
Not Bryan Adams.
No, that's
so.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
Billy
Nobody
Idol.
puts Billy in a corner.
And speaking of Artie, tune into his Facebook Live videos on Sunday nights.
Oh, yeah, he does
do live
Ask Artie.
readings. It's Ask Artie, so if you get chosen and random. And then he also chooses one person at the end of the show to win a half-hour reading, which is worth $75.
Cool.
So,
And,
friends,
Gisela was the
Artie.
happy winner this week.
yeah, I won, actually.
Atta
even though
girl.
He didn't choose, someone else did. So.
He reads a little book.
Yes.
Billy Idol, I like him.
He read
love
me
Bill. I
Little
love
You
House
have
on
to
the
remember,
Prairie.
his songs are all the same. He starts out speaking, "Hey, little girl," before you know it, yeah!
It's very Jim Morrison. It's nice, easy voice, but then the screaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loved his Moni version.
I love,
Hell
I
yeah,
love all
man.
those. I like Billy. I love Billy Idol. So
Hell
White
yeah.
Wedding, Rebel
Yeah.
Yell.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
The rebel, yeah.
I like Eyes Without a Face, actually. It's
That's a
my
great song
favorite
too,
yeah.
and a great guitarist.
Yeah. He's a showman, too, I heard. I've never seen...
Yeah.
He's the one of the bands that I never actually caught first time. If you...
He's
you
a good
can-
showman.
You can run down a list. I've seen almost every 80s band, like, in their heyday back in the day, but he's one of the ones I missed the boat on all the time.
He's very good. But puts on a good show. He's a little guy. He's very petite.
I'll tell you something
Yeah,
about
he's not
Billy
that
Idol,
bad.
how well respected he is. When the Who finally performed Quadrophenia live back in the 90s, the full album, guess who was bellboy? Billy Idol.
Really?
That's how much he's respected by the Who especially.
Well,
so.
Paul told me something interesting, and it was, I was surprising. He said somebody asked Eric Clapton, "How does it feel to be the world's greatest guitarist?" He said, "I don't know. Ask Prince."
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard that story
Prince was
before.
very underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's. I think he's up there. I don't think he's in like the upper echelon. Of,
If you listen to a lot of his stuff, listen to his guitar playing.
He's
it's
really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
No,
It's just that he was so known as a performer.
Yes.
It kind of took away from
Yes.
his guitar playing, but he was an incredible guitar player.
yeah, and then he was changing his name. You didn't know how to say it. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Well,
and then-
You're right about that.
But that was
Yeah.
a reason for that. It was a legal thing that had to do with the record company. That's why he did that.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
eventually he got his name back because he owned his stuff again. It was a
That's
rec-
it.
that was a record
When you
company
own
thing.
your publishing, you got the keys
Yeah,
to the kingdom.
exactly.
When
You got
don't,
that
you're-
right, brother.
But that's why he changed. That's why he made his name the Symbol, because there was a legal thing going on with the record company.
I'll tell you what, Brian Adams, too. I mean, he's all right. You know what I mean? He kind of dropped off the map.
Yeah, Gisela said
But I'm still a fan.
she never heard of him.
Oh my God, I've heard of.
So you've heard his songs, I'm sure,
Stop
though.
it. I did hear.
Yeah.
of him,
You
right?
made it sound like he was like a wish-wash. He was a
I'm
big
just
deal in
saying-
the 80s.
Okay, in the 80s, not now.
Yeah, but don't forget, she's not from the 80s,
Hey,
really.
these
Listen,
are
I
free
don't-
tickets. Free
when
tickets.
people say that, I don't buy that because there's people that can quote the Honeymooners chapter and verse, and they weren't born back
You're
then.
That's
you're
us.
comparing the Honeymooners that have played every single year
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve on
Right.
Channel 11 every freaking year forever.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so it's out there. Like now, Bohemian Rhapsody brought Queen back. Okay, so the younger
Yeah, they're
generation
all-
knows
they're all,
it. But not too many
bandwagons.
people. It doesn't matter. It's being brought to people's attention.
You got to remember, a lot of younger people don't care about things that happened before them.
No,
They
but
had
that's
sense of
not true.
history.
How many artists do we talk about now?
He said a lot. He said a lot.
us.
Not all.
No, how many artists do we talk about saying they're getting 5 and 6 generations at their show?
Van Gogh.
Certain people, because they have
Yeah.
parents that were into it.
Exactly.
Listen,
Thank you.
Brian Adams wrote one of the greatest love songs I've ever heard. Heaven. I can't top that song.
See, she knows all the ballads. When it comes to others, like
From
she
Robin
didn't
Hood.
even know she was listening to Queen when she heard "Crazy Little Thing Called Love." She found out while we were watching the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. She goes, "Oh my God, that's Queen."
Yeah, because I listened to.
No,
I,
I'm not-
I just listened
I'm
to
just
music.
saying.
I told them I never really bought albums. I never really.
Well,
I
nobody
just-
really does much
I was
anymore.
a radio
but-
listener. I only listened to music.
Well,
when I
that's
was
why
in the
it
car
surprises me
driving.
because you're big into music.
I love music, but the only music I knew was what my mother brought.
Yeah,
home.
you got to have
Right.
somebody to expose you to it. You're
Right.
right.
Yeah, but if you're listening to the radio, you
It
said
doesn't matter. I didn't know who I was singing along to. I was
The
just
radio
singing
is not like
along.
when we were kids. You listen to a radio station, they played all kinds of music. You listen to a radio station now, it plays one style of music. Every station has its
Right.
own niche.
Right.
So kids aren't getting diversity at all. If they listen to a rap station, they're hearing rap. That's all they're hearing.
Like
listen to a country station, all they're hearing is country. They're not hearing
And my
diversity.
parents was Lionel Richie, Neil Diamond, Willie Nelson.
We heard
Uncle
Motown,
Bull,
rock and roll,
like that, yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
we
we
heard it
sure
all.
did.
My mother was big in disco, like.
Yeah,
but I didn't know who
it's
the hell was
different
singing
time.
on the radio.
It's a
I'm
different
just
time.
singing
No, but I'm just saying, in the '80s, Brian Adams was huge. He wasn't like a
Yeah,
no-name.
but not to the kids today. They don't know who he is.
No.
To
I
me,
mean-
my age group was New Kids on the Block, Samantha Fox.
I can just feel most of the young kids today don't even know who the Beatles are. Give me a break.
Oh, I know. And the comedians, the young guys. Who's Don Rickles?
Who's Sam
Really?
Kinison? They don't know.
Yeah, right. They
I know
should
who
be
you're talking
shot.
about.
Look,
It's just the way
Ruben,
it
I'm
is.
drinking. I mean, remember Home Alone when he goes, I'm eating ice cream. Come out and smash me.
Don't tempt them.
It's the way of the music business, my friends. I'm lucky that I'm tuned into classic rock. But I'll tell you what, my daughters love country, you know? And I tell them, it's like, what you call country today, was AM pop when I was a kid. you
Yeah,
know?
the country today is more crossover.
But they've turned me on to it. And a lot of it's
I
good.
love country.
But I get in the car, I just classic rock. That's just me. You know,
Right.
it happens to us as we age,
When
you know?
when we went to Texas, we had to rent a car and we had to listen to like a local station. It was called The Wolf down in Texas, and they played the greatest music. I fell in love with the station.
But the only
why you came
disappointing
back with a
thing
cowboy
about
hat.
Texas, we were expecting to hear country music everywhere. They were listening to hip hop in R&B.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, it's
And
not
it
like
was a
you think.
disappointment for me because like,
I
you know,
could
going
dig
to
that.
Texas
Yeah.
and you just wanted to hear like
Yeah.
you know country music.
You wanted to hear
Yes, I
No,
wanted
you know what
to
is
in the
also-
heart of
Yeah.
Texas.
I wanted to see square dancing and stuff. We didn't see
No,
it,
it's not going to see that, no.
you know.
But I'll tell you, the older you get, the more you listen to music that brings back great memories to you.
Yes.
Yeah, you hold on to it like a childhood item, you know.
That's
you do.
why, I'm a big...
why it's universal.
Well, 80s to me was the greatest decade of my life, so...
Right.
But,
to me, it's like the 60s and the 70s.
So, we finally... I got to give her most of the credit. Gisela, like, really overhauled our garage. Now it's like, you don't have to worry about falling and getting a tetanus shot. And
Where'd
we
you put
did
everything?
I
You burned
cleaned,
it?
I
Burned
cleaned
it?
everything.
Yeah,
Wow.
we got room
Backyard,
now.
Side yard,
and-
garage, everything.
What'd you do all the collectibles? What'd you do with them?
No, they're there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hung
But-
them up nice and neatly.
But I had an idea. I have
Good for
all
you.
these. My new things now is I'm collecting vintage vinyl from the '80s. So I started. I realized I had about 30 or 40 different things. So what I did is I put them on plastic and I hung them on the wall. So now I have a whole '80s wall of all vinyl art.
Right.
Yeah.
I have Ozzy up there. I have Billy Idol. I have
How'd you put them on the wall, though?
in
Thumbtacks.
plastic.
Oh, good.
With thumbtacks, and they're just. I got Queen's first album up there, so it's really.
Right.
It makes me feel
So
so
if anybody
good.
wants to rob us, we live in Holiday City in Thompson Road.
No, you don't. They live in Howell. Howell,
Howell.
folks. Right off of Route 9.
Yes.
Right off of Colts Neck. No.
Right next to the police station. So, and I got a lot of this stuff from going to like different flea markets and stuff, but I ordered, and I'm a little pissed off because I went to this site called Reverb LP.
Right.
And what that is they sell, they don't sell it, but they list, it's sort of like an eBay for people who are
It
looking
is,
for
yeah.
album.
You sell music equipment or albums or
Right.
anything. Yeah.
So I'm looking up all the '80s albums, and I want, because out there now, you go to Barnes and Nobles, you can put their all. I don't want reissued. I want the original album. So I ordered Billy. Now the guy has on the listing Billy Ocean, A Caribbean Queen, picture album. Because what good is hanging up one album if you can't read it? So I want the picture art. That's how he has it listed. When it came, it was like the generic one. I said, listen, I want a refund because he's like, well, if you read my ad, it says condition of the sleeve is generic. I said, well, why do you have a picture art up there? Put up the actual picture of the thing you're going to send me. I was so excited to get it, and I open it up, and it's bullshit. Now I got to make sure I read everything and make sure that that's what I'm getting.
My friend Jeff sent me as a gift a long time ago. Sent me a Beatles album signed by all the Beatles on the front of the album,
that's
which they never did. It's the only time they ever did it.
Oh, wow. Which
That's
which
pretty
album
cool.
was it? The White
Doesn't
Album?
matter. How many thousands is it
Meet
worth?
the Beatles. Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
doesn't
gotta
matter.
That's incredible.
That's got to be a nice piece of change.
Yeah.
Did you ever get? Well, I don't know if you have a thing. You ever listen to that Yankee album I gave you?
No, I didn't listen to it. I have nothing to
We
play
love
on it.
Why don't I-
Yankees.
I saved it. That's in my
Yankees.
collectibles, but I didn't
The
listen to it.
Yankee album.
I was at they were having a record shop day down in Forked River, and they had like 6 vendors that had like all kinds of vinyl from
Right.
going back to the '60s up until the '80s and stuff. And I found some really good stuff, and then I saw that. And, well, actually, I give credit.
Thank you.
Gisela saw it and says, "Oh, why don't you get that for Paul?" I says, "He's worth $1. Why not?"
I still have all my parents' 78s.
Oh, really?
Those big albums.
Yeah.
They used to have them all over the basement walls.
When they first made
I got 'em
albums,
all.
were they thick? Like thicker?
Heck
than-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
they're-
yeah.
yeah, they're
Hell
heavy.
yeah.
They're
I
heavy.
remember them being like real thick. The
And
vinyl,
heavy, yeah.
Because I remember my mother used to go crazy, like with the needle, like if you would scratch the record, like.
Oh yeah, you had to be careful.
I'm a trivia question too. The first group I was in that was on RCA, Stark Naked. We were the very first album that was flexible.
Oh,
We were the first ones. We were the guinea pigs.
wow.
that is.
We were the test.
Good thing you finished it. We were the guineas.
We were the guinea pigs.
We were the guineas. Here we go. Victor Moan's going to come after us now. Randy's Man Cave in Bordentown. Bordentown's got 2 places. Check out a classic vinyl.
I got to go down there.
Yeah.
There's the record exchange or something.
Yeah,
in Princeton,
and-
and then
Well, the Princeton Record Exchange is good too, but Randy Now's Man Cave in Bordentown, and there's also another one in Bordentown.
yeah, I can't think of
They're
it.
both pretty good.
Want a good trivia question?
Yes.
Who founded Bordentown?
Guy that was, I guess, wanted to move to the city because he was bored in town.
LC the cow.
No. Napoleon's brother. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Borden part.
Yeah.
The French?
Yes, Napoleon,
shit.
his brother. And a lot of people think that when Napoleon disappeared after they exiled him, that he actually lived his end years in Bordentown in the cover.
Oh, wow.
But that ABBA picked up on it and wrote Waterloo.
Waterloo.
You know what I can't understand, and correct me if maybe I missed some. When I'm looking up a lot of these things on the sites, Wasn't 12-inch vinyl out in the 80s?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why is everything listed as a 45 all the time when I'm
don't
looking
know.
up stuff?
I don't know.
I remember playing 45s in the 70s, but not the 80s.
They had 45s in the 80s.
Yeah, I thought that was phased out.
It
by
was
then.
starting to phase out.
Yeah, yeah.
It was starting to
Because
phase out.
everything I'm looking at is a 7-inch maxi single.
80s, everything was starting to go to cassette.
Yep.
Right. That I can understand, but I don't understand where the 45s are coming from. Because I remember listening to the Monkees on 45.
Right.
I do have Daydream Believer on 45, the original, yeah.
I had all them albums. The one with the 4 of them, they were like on some kind of thing. And I had some.
Yeah.
My father accidentally threw out a lot of them. I had all clippings from when Elvis died, all
Yeah.
these things, and he threw it out accidentally. I don't think it was an accident.
I collect a lot of old newspapers.
Yeah.
I got a lot of good old ones.
I got when the Iraq War first started, when the headlines. I got when Michael Jackson
I
died.
have Kennedy assassination. I have Muhammad Ali winning the championship.
Yeah, see, some
I have
people
some stuff
do
from
that.
World War II.
I have when Gotti went to prison. I have when John Belushi died. I have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So Gisela, even though she hasn't been here and we haven't been here, she wasn't feeling well. So I made sure I stood with her the past couple of weeks to nurse her back to health.
Oh,
And
you're a
she
nurse
did-
now, are you?
Yes, and she's done. Yeah, I'm Richard Speck. She's done so well. She's got some awesome inquiring mind questions that she's
boy.
going to tell you right.
Awesome.
So how many?
Question
we have
number
today?
one. Who is Richard Speck?
Always 3 questions.
3. Okay.
So the first one, it's not really questions anyway. It's just a statement. Tell me something about your childhood that brings you joy until this day. That's
easy.
1. 2, describe your perfect room with the view in details. And 3, finish this sentence. The 80s were.
Great. Okay. It's easy. I like
That's
those
easy,
nice
that
and
one.
easy
I like
ones.
that one.
I like them all.
Yeah.
So
All
we
right.
have some people that answered our questions. I just have to go up.
All right. So.
And people, if you want to call in, you can call in too.
Please,
people.
yes, but we got to get that number out there,
Yeah.
right?
Should put the number up so people know.
Yeah, the number's not up.
My lucky number's one.
The number is 718 701
701
8249.
8249.
I had no idea that was your sister last week.
I know.
Who'd you think you were
that was
sleeping
the,
with?
That was
I
the
don't
whole
know.
idea.
Oh, I
is
don't
to
know.
Make it a surprise.
I didn't
Right.
know. Man, she sounds like she's smoking 3 packs of Camels a
Oh,
day.
she's a smoker, man.
So our brother here, Ed Ruffalo, he answered. So typical. Tell me something about your childhood that brings you joy until this day.
Oh, I'm afraid to ask what Ed would say.
So he said, my parents' deaths.
Oh, jeez.
He's very.
What did he say?
My parents' deaths.
Is what?
okay.
That-
Brings him joy
That
to
gives
this
him
day.
joy until this
He's
day.
so full of shit, Ed.
And then for number 2, he put in a beautiful picture of a great, looks like a penthouse overlooking the ocean, with a palm tree out there and a nice sunset. So, and then number 3, finish this sentence. The 80s were cheesy but fun.
Oh, okay.
So short and sweet. with
So
that
the
one.
only bad answer was the first one.
Yes.
The rest of you was honest.
And then Robert
Well, he's
Lewis.
being honest in the first one, too. That's
Robert
funny.
Lewis, who is also a friend of our show.
Yep.
He said, for number 1, the day I had a little brother and 3 sisters was one of the joyful day of his life. 2, this perfect room would be overlooking the Great Barrier Reef. And 3,
Australia.
the 80s were clubbing, dancing, and meeting my wife. The 80s were fun for me.
Very nice. There you go.
So want to see what Tim, let's see. Tell me something about your childhood that brings you joy until this day.
I watch every day, being able to watch Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges every day.
Oh, Tim, you stole my answer. No, I'm
Not.
just kidding.
That's good.
That is a good one.
All right,
What about you, Paul?
My whole childhood, my parents made my sister and my life so much fun. Everything was fun. I mean, everything. I can't. There's nowhere to this beginning, nowhere to end.
So what
It's
is your
just-
funnest memory?
my favorite thing was be in the house, be watching TV upstairs in my room or something like that, and all of a sudden all the lights would go out. And I knew my father was going to play the monster, and we had to hide. And I used to love it. So I never had any fears. Everything was fun. So power would go out. We all like scampering to find hiding places. And my father comes, "Whoa!" I was like, oh, I love that.
That's where you got that stuff from Halloween, doing that.
That's why I love scaring people. I did that to my kids all the time. They have no fears of that either. I used to scare the hell out of them too.
And what about you?
And the roadies, I used to wait for hours to scare them.
When I was young, spending
never
time with
needed
my
anyone.
friends was great. We were just mischievous, and it was so harmless, and you don't have to worry about it. But hanging out with my Uncle Frank, who was my godfather, he was full of life. He had spirit. He was a ball buster, just like me. I'll give you an example. I had when I was in high school, I got invited to a football camp over the summer at Delaware University. So we had to go on a road trip. It was me, my Uncle Frank, and my dad. So we stopped for a break at a 7-Eleven somewhere. And my father goes in, and me and my Uncle Frank are sitting there. He goes, listen, I'm going to jump in the seat. He takes the car and parks it all the way around the other side of the building. My father comes up, where the fuck is my car? It was just the funny stuff like that he did. Like, we would be in the mall or something. He would walk through the mall and just go, hey, Arthur, and just make people look and do all these crazy things. And he was like, and the best part about my Uncle Frank, he's the only one who never judged me. I could commit murder with the knife in my hand, and he would still say, he didn't do it. So
The knife was only a butter knife.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to butter people up.
My childhood thing that is dancing with my grandfather.
Grandfather.
And any occasion, just enjoyed dancing with him, or him grabbing my hands and bringing me to the DJ, having me sing and entertain. So it was really cool because he made me feel like I was like the only girl in the world that was special.
Nona Mario.
Awesome. Yeah.
What about when you used to like?
Oh, he used to come home. He used to work as a sheetrock guy, whatever you call them,
Drywall.
drywalls. And he would come home from work, and his little khaki pants, his little, V-neck T-shirt, and I would walk, like, to just wait for him because he would walk off the train, and I would run down the block always, and then I would jump on him. He would carry me home the rest of the way with his loaf of bread and his newspaper.
That's cool.
And
That's
it was
nice.
really cool. Yeah.
My wife, her grandfather on her mother's side, he come down at night. Come down in the morning, and he'd say to her, honey, give me a little shot of scotch, and you take a little shot of scotch. And they found out later on as years went by, he did that to all the kids. We had like 3 or 4 shots.
Oh my God.
He had like 4 shots before the morning even started.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like it.
And his nickname. He used to spar with which boxer?
Foreman?
No, old time.
Oh, Sullivan?
How big was he? How big? Because you had Graziano.
Marciano,
Before
Robinson, LaMotta,
No, before these guys.
Gene Tunney.
No, for that era though.
Oh, really? Dempsey.
Dempsey, Jack Dempsey. He used to spar with him. His nickname was Joe
Wow.
Grimm.
Yeah, we bought him a couple of drinks at Dempsey's in the Bronx.
He's a man after your own heart, Tim. Taking
That's
scotch in the
funny.
morning.
I'm telling you.
He took 4 scotches and then wiped his junk on the drapes.
And then Connie Munson just answered also.
Connie Munson.
Yeah, she said her favorite. See, I told you to keep your volume on. Connie Munson says that the best thing about her childhood is always music.
Right.
Her perfect room. She said a room with the serene calm pastels and windows, a view of the beach, palm trees, music instruments sitting around or hanging on the walls, always within arm's reach. My computer always connected to my mixer, ready to catch new song ideas that pop into my head, pens, papers, ready to capture the latest song, hook, line, or chorus, and comfortable furniture for friends to sit in when they come by. And then, let's see, the 80s, she was busy gigging and traveling.
There you go.
So, very nice. Thank you so much.
Connie Munson, you are
Yeah,
the
that was
greatest.
really awesome.
Okay, second
Allie
question.
Lanier just tuned in. Say hi to
Allie, congratulations on your
My
new
daughter.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations on your new home.
Let me know when the housewarming party is. I have the perfect blender in my closet.
And Dino's out there, www.syndicateradio.tv.
All right, Dino.
Yes, that's our new home. Dino Cabro.
Benelli. Dino Benelli.
But all right, the second question
So the
is.
second one is describe your perfect room with
With
a
a view.
view and details.
That's easy.
Oh boy.
Right, Tim.
Tim's like, right,
A
where
rubber
we are
room?
right now.
I got to tell you the truth. I could just picture my favorite view ever. It would be of my parents' backyard in the early summer. Yeah, we had a couple apple trees, and the grass was greener than everything I've ever seen in my life. So I'd like to see that like every day the rest of my life. Not
you
my
go.
parents,
No, but
just
right, I
that
know,
yard.
just the
Yeah,
whole view.
I can't imagine now. I mean, I like the views of the ocean. I certainly like to look at women. Especially
That goes with the ocean.
Bikinis.
yeah, bikinis. You know what I mean? I always figured I'd get a job working on some kind of a hotel in the islands or something, just handing out beach towels.
What's your favorite beach?
For me, if I'm going to
Yeah.
go somewhere, just to hit the boardwalk, Seaside. That's the way we were
Seaside.
raised.
Okay.
Skip out, go to
So you go to
Seaside.
Seaside Park,
used to be
Seaside
great.
Heights, or
Heights,
Funtown?
Heights for the boardwalk.
Heights.
Yeah.
So you don't go
Yeah.
to Funtown because you could drink on Funtown.
Nah, drinking is something I do out of boredom.
Hey Tim, you ever go to the Chatterbox?
Back in the day, saw Trigger there. Paul might remember that band.
I used to play there.
Trigger, yeah.
Oh, Trigger, yeah.
Chatterbox Lounge, man. It was hot stuff.
My friend Dennis was a producer at Trigger, and
Yeah.
he produced my solo stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that you played at the Chatterbox. Yeah, that's. I forget that you're down since '82, right? You came.
Yeah,
into-
well, my band was here since '76.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's your perfect humid review, Paul?
Anything tropical. I love palm trees. I love mountains. I love beach. I loved when I was in Vegas because I like you see the mountains and you had snow tops, but meanwhile it was hot where you were. I like palm trees. I like heat. So
Right.
anywhere tropical. I like tropical.
Yes. Yes.
Pina colada. I don't even drink, but I like a pina colada sitting on the beach or in the
They
pool.
have virgin drinks.
They have the
you know.
non.
I drink the virgin ones.
Okay.
I drink the virgin. I don't drink the rum. I don't
Do
like
you
rum.
sing like a virgin?
No.
I'm kidding.
I drank a pina colada. That's the same day that Josephine ordered a $24 sangria,
Oh boy.
and we thought it was a drink. I said, "Can we have a glass
Well, I
of sangria?"
asked for a glass.
And
of
the guy brought like
sangria.
a beer
pitcher.
keg full of
You put a whole
sangria.
pitcher, yeah. I bring a pitcher.
And it was like he had the nerve to try and charge me 20.
And
We
it
had to
was
put
my-
it in like 3 wonton soup containers. That you know.
It was
the-
my birthday.
Yeah.
So he was like, when we got the bill, he's like, "What the hell?" Because there's a whole picture. So she's like, "I'm like, listen, we're gonna have to take the rest home." So she put it in a
Doggy
quart
bag?
No, like the, you know how
You know
they-
that when
they
you get
give
a
the
large wonton soup,
That's where they.
we had to
the
put like
skin-
6 of them just to fill in the.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like the size of that speaker over there.
But then after that day, now when we revisit this restaurant,
changed the
they
menu.
actually have prices on the menu.
That helps. Yeah, that does
No,
help.
that's very misleading though, because everything is
Yeah, yeah.
everything you ordered here is is
A la
like
carte.
in a bottle, but and they don't tell you that.
Right.
But listen, I'm
But it
not
was funny.
cheap. I don't mind that you know. I thought she was gonna get like a little wine glass full of sangria with the fruit on.
Probably
it.
still have some left.
No, I
right.
actually.
See,
ate
I
all
always
that.
thought a la carte was a fat Muslim.
Yeah, Osama bin Eaton.
Yeah.
Osama Penny, and he was at the party.
Osama been
Saturday.
bullshitting me.
Yeah, but I'm the same way with Paul. If it involves a beach and that beautiful ocean, somewhere like on Bora Bora or one of those beautiful islands, not the Dominican Republic where everybody's dying lately.
No. I like Paradise Island. I like that. I like that.
Paradise Island is awesome.
Atlantis,
I loved it there.
yeah, I love that.
I went to St. John. I had a great time. The
That's
Virgin
over in
Islands.
Long Island, right?
Yeah, St. John's
Make a
University.
left.
Yeah.
Can
I
make
was
a
hanging
left.
out with Chris Mullins. But anywhere tropical, Malibu, or I have 2 favorites. Like in one of those Vegas penthouse where you could see the whole strip.
Yeah.
You know, like they had in Rain Man where you could see I don't know what hotel it is, but you could see.
They're all like that. They're all in the strip. yeah.
But you could see right down the whole strip. It was awesome.
You got the Luxor. You got them all. New York. They're all in the
I
strip.
love the
Of course, I got my
Bellagio,
underwear in
yeah.
Cincinnati. That's where I get my
Bellagio,
underwear. I get my underwear
Monte
in
Carlo.
Cincinnati. Only in Cincinnati. That's where I get my
I
underwear in
think my
Cincinnati.
perfect room would have also a view of the ocean, but I would like an air hockey table, maybe a bowling alley.
And a bong.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
just to hang out and have a good time.
And a bong. We need a bong.
You can have a
We're
bong.
getting there. Oakland has decriminalized the psychedelic mushroom. Second city in the U.S.
Wow.
Oakland. Yes, it's
What
official.
was the movie we watched?
See, Carlo, your
with,
dream is coming true.
Chevy Chase just recently on Netflix.
See, Carlo, your dreams coming true. Gonna be able to trip
the
soon.
last laugh. Yeah.
The Last Laugh. Did you see that?
Is it a relatively new movie?
It's a relatively new.
I know, I
on
haven't even heard of
Netflix.
it.
It's really cool.
It's,
I still love Chevy. I did.
Well, who's the other actor?
Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay, so Richard Dreyfuss, Chevy Chase was a booker back in the day, and he wanted to get Richard Dreyfuss, I guess, to be one of his comedians. But it turned out instead of pursuing his comedy career, he went to be a podiatrist, had a family and everything, and then in an older age, because he never.
What
did
movie
his
are we
career.
talking about?
It's
This is
a new
called
movie
the
on
it's
Netflix
called
called
The Last Laugh.
Straight to
okay.
Netflix.
So now,
yeah.
he, Chevy Chase is getting older. He's living with his granddaughter, and then she's, deciding to put him like in a nursing home. So he goes into a nursing home, and who does he bump into?
Richard Dreyfuss.
So it turns out that Richard Dreyfuss, and him hooked up again, and he's living his dream of being a comedian, which is funny. So now he's literally traveling. Throughout the United States doing comedy acts, which is pretty cool.
From a humor perspective, do we get to see some of that classic Chevy Chase humor?
It's so funny.
Because I used to think
On
he was
both
the
sides.
greatest.
Yes.
Up until the even through the 80s, they're probably most of his movies.
Very, very good
It was
comedic actor.
It's a great movie.
Just not very well
even
liked,
for you
but he's a
guys
very
to
good comedic
watch
actor.
because it just puts everything.
He
into
did
perspective.
2 movies back
Fletch.
in the day with Goldie Hawn. Which
Oh,
to
seems
this
like
day-
old times.
Seems
Yes.
like old times, and before that, it was
Was it Foul? Not
with
Foul Play.
Burgess Meredith, where he's like an undercover agent or something,
Yeah, I
trying
know
to
which
save
one it
her.
is.
It was like the first movie he did after Saturday Night Live.
Oh, wow.
Seems like old times is one of them.
What's great about Seems Like Old Times is a Neil Simon play.
Yeah.
It was a Neil Simon script. That's an incredible script. Great cast, great
That first movie though with Goldie and Chevy, it's mid '70s,
Foul
late
Play?
'70s. Foul Play.
Oh, yeah, with
somebody's
Dudley Moore.
trying to assassinate the Pope.
That's the movie that made Dudley Moore famous.
You're right about that. That's
Yeah,
right. I
small
forgot
part.
he was in it. Yeah.
Stole that movie.
Yeah.
A small
Did he?
part.
Wow.
So I loved Chevy, and
Yeah.
oh god. Even
Did you guys like all his Lampoon movies?
Yeah,
I was
Some of
okay
them,
with the
some of them.
European one. The first one's a
European.
classic,
Yeah,
you know.
the Christmas.
Chevy's
Christmas
funny,
is
but I
worth
heard
it.
he's not a nice
Fletch
person.
movie. No, he's not a nice person. He's not.
Oh, no. Yeah,
I
not like
love
us.
the Fletch movies. I always, but I heard he's real nasty.
Well, he's probably not anymore. He's probably come down from
But
that.
he's
But
funny,
he used to be.
Paul,
Yeah.
because you were saying before something. I don't want to put it out there, but like it's just trying to make it in this business. You need like a hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you don't have one,
Right.
you're
It's
not
hard,
going to
yeah.
make it.
You need something for people to
know?
grasp onto.
So,
Yeah,
and this
well.
is kind of like watching this. It just puts everything into perspective. And at the end,
Yeah.
for him trying to get onto one of the big, TV networks,
Okay.
like
It's a
Chevy
good
had to
story.
like, pay
It's a-
someone off just to get on.
My favorite Richard Dreyfuss movie was Mr. Holland's Opus.
Opus, yeah.
Oh, I love that
was
movie.
a great movie.
Love that.
I
movie.
like the what you call it, the one we always quote with he goes to the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Let It Ride is a
I love
classic.
Let It Ride.
So many. It's the only comedy movie I've ever seen where everybody in the movie is a character. There's not one
Yes.
serious person in the movie. Everybody in the movie is a character.
That's funny.
It's a classic movie. I love it.
I love the security guard. There's a man throwing up on the pool table to
There's
my
a fly
right.
on the fly on the money box. How about when Jennifer Tilly goes up behind him and grabs him and he goes, guess who it is? He goes, football salesman. And he looks at the camera and goes, am I having a good day or what?
I love it. The best is when he goes to make his final bet. Robbie Coltrane, who was great.
Oh, played
in
the
Nuns
teller.
on the Run. He goes, you're a legend. I'll tell the kids about you, the grandkids.
Right, yeah.
Just his demeanor was so.
That movie's a classic movie. That was my father-in-law's favorite movie of all time. He watched it like once a week.
Oh, I love that movie.
I love that movie.
But
If you never saw it, go watch Let It Ride.
Oh, Let It Ride. Was
Okay,
it's
thank you.
hysterical.
That's on my list then.
If
It's
you,
a classic
I
comedy.
know.
since we
You guys,
mentioned,
sir, I trust you guys. I do.
yeah, since we mentioned The Last Laugh, there's another one. It's a series on Netflix. It's called The Kaminsky Method. It's with Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin.
It's good
I love Alan
pairing.
Arkin.
Academy Award winners.
And Alan Arkin is this big agent, and
I love Alan Arkin. He's a great actor.
and Michael Douglas is an actor who never really made it, so now he's teaching acting. And the two of them together, Michael Douglas has to go to the bathroom. He's like, "You're going to the bathroom again?" He goes, "What are you keeping count?" It's just that, like, the interaction
Yeah.
between the two of them. You got to check out the Kaminsky Method on
Okay.
Netflix.
How about Alan Arkin and what's his name? Peter Falk in The In-Laws.
Oh, that was classic.
Serpentine, Shelley.
Serpentine.
Serpentine.
Here's a.
Mosquitoes were picking kids up.
I don't.
Mosquitoes. I'm kidding.
Listen, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is a closet Peter Falk movie. It was with Peter Falk, Cyndi Lauper, and Jeff Goldblum. It was called Vibes.
Never heard of that one.
It was from the 80s. It was about they were psychics, and Peter Falk was trying to find this treasure, and he was just hysterical.
I love Peter Falk.
You got to get this movie. I don't know if you can find it. It's called Vibes.
You never heard of that one?
He's Jeff Goldblum is a legit psychic,
Mm-hmm.
and Cyndi Lauper is too. And then this guy comes, Harry was his name. It's Peter Falk.
He always plays that kind of a part.
He had a partner that's missing, and they were trying to find this treasure. And then another guy comes in. I think it was Julian something. He looks like Sting. I can't think of his name. He wants the treasure, so he holds him capped. But it's a hysterical movie.
That's funny.
Jeff Goldblum
Okay.
touches his girlfriend's underwear. He's like, he knew that she was having an affair on him. He's like, I see a hockey player. His name is. It's so funny movie.
Alan Arkin's great.
Yeah,
That is
but
funny.
you definitely got to. I got to watch that again. I can't find that.
No, it was a great Peter Falk movie too, but he wasn't the main star. But there was a lot of great stars in it. The Great Race.
Oh yeah.
Him and Jack Lemmon played the bad guys. You had Keenan Wynn. You had Tony Curtis, Natalie Wood.
That's a classic.
Classic movie. The whole thing it took place in the 1800s or early 1900s, and they had a car race from New York all the way to Paris. They had to go over the ice and through Russia and come down.
Saw it as a child. I sure
I
did.
love it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question, and Gisela, I don't know if you were. It might have been too early for you, but
I was in a cradle. No,
I was watching a movie, and they're so cheesy, but you have to watch them. It was called War of the Gargantuas. It was like a Godzilla type movie.
Sound almost like porn.
Never.
It was called War of the Gargantuas, and it was so fun. Actually, had one American actor in it, but you knew it wasn't his voice. It was dubbed, and it was Russ Tamblyn from West Side Story,
Yeah,
the guy who
yeah.
played Riff. And it was just, even though they're so cheesy, I get a kick out of watching them, how they like stepping on all the fake houses and stuff. And it was a really cool movie, but I haven't seen that in a while. I used to enjoy those watching. That and, remember Gigantor, Tim?
I sure do.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Gigantor. Come home from school, get there 3:30, 4 o'clock. Elementary school, bang, TV on, man. Channel
Super
5 out of
Sales.
New York or Channel 11 out of New York.
Yeah.
You had Astro Boy, Gigantor, Speed Racer. Oh,
What was the one with the marionettes?
Quest.
Space Car? What was that called? The one with the marionettes?
Fireball XL5 was one of them.
No, it wasn't that one. Which was
But yeah, there were a couple that had the marionettes.
That was
You're
so
right.
weird looking. It was so weird. They
And
couldn't
really
even,
weird ones, though, were just like foreign cartoons that run in the morning before school, like
Right.
Kimba the White Lion. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Remember the New Zoo Review?
Yeah, I do. I
With
do.
Doug, and then there was the two girls, the Magic Garden. They were just at the chiller.
Yeah,
the convention,
they
yeah.
still look
This is
all
the
right
story
too.
of make believe,
Yeah.
and the one girl had really big hooters.
Yeah, those cucumbers grow big, man. I'm telling you.
All right, what's the third question?
Well, it's not questions. Finish this
Oh.
sentence. The 80s were.
Oh.
I'll let Tim go.
First, for me, the 80s, I break them down in half, and I'll tell you why. The first half of the 80s is from early 20s to like maybe later 20s, and it was all about MTV for me. All about MTV.
1982, August 1st.
Yeah, following the Yankees too, because they're always right on the cusp, it seemed like. And then the second half of the 80s is like, well, I'm pushing 30, and it's like I'm still going to clubs, but suddenly I'm the oldest freaking guy in the club, and something's wrong here, I figured out one time, by the way, we were talking about music before, that I personally stopped paying attention to the newer music the year I turned 30, which was 87.
Wow.
I was going through top 100 lists on like top 100 songs in 1987, whatever. I was like, yeah, I stopped following like right before that, Yeah.
So did you like listen to anything else besides 80s music?
Oh hell yeah, I always have 60s and 70s
Look at
especially.
the
I'm
songs you
62
like.
years old,
So you never caught up. So like you didn't get into the 90s and like.
And somebody would have to turn me on to it, or if
Yeah.
I was out somewhere and it's good. I still grasp onto some songs once in a while that I think are the greatest, but I can't bring myself to listening to a station. Well, I've got Sirius, but to a
Right.
station that plays newer stuff. And rock music's dying, it feels like right now anyway,
Well,
in some ways it's making a resurgence too.
I hope so, yeah.
It's funny though. When I'm in the car driving, sometimes I put on doo-wop, and that's nowhere near my
Now,
generation.
now how we know it's
I
making a
enjoy
resurgence?
it.
We go to the shows. There's a lot of young people at the shows.
Oh yeah.
So it is making a resurgence. It's just it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to do because, like I said, the stations are so formatted for one style.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And-
I think it's better that way.
No.
I like to listening to one station because what is Sirius? You turn on the station that you can identify with anyway.
That's what it's
Yes.
become. That's what it's become
Yes.
so nichey like that.
And that's
I used to like listen to everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I love listening to everything, but you always have preferences,
I
Like,
liked everything.
listen, the '80s, to answer your question, was unbelievable for me. It was the greatest decade of my life.
Attaboy.
And I'm so envious that when people go to see Foreigner and say, I saw them firsthand. When you see Bruno Mars now, I'm like, all right. And I'm seeing him first run because he's just coming out, but it's not as special. Queen, all these, listen, I'm so happy for them. I don't think they ever died to me because I'm a Superman. I remember listening to them on an AM radio. 77 ABC and all
Yes.
that. I am so like, you're just learning them now. I got to experience Freddie Mercury. Adam Lambert, he's okay. He's very good. He's doing the job. God bless him. But there'll never be another Freddie Mercury.
No, agreed.
And they never said that, and he even said he's not.
No, he's not trying to replace
replacing
him.
No, I know.
He's just the perfect fit for what they need.
He's a perfect fit for them.
I'm glad that he's helping Queen out because they were ready to pack it in.
Dig
And it gives,
this.
the music, it gives a whole generation the new
Because
music.
of what the movie Bohemian Rhapsody has done
yeah.
for the public.
Yeah.
Queen is charging Rolling Stone type prices for their
Literally.
tickets now. Literally, because
Yeah.
I bought one.
Yeah.
I think it's July is when I'm going, either that or August, but I bought one.
Wow.
And they're getting a
Yes.
younger audience again now because of
they
Adam
do it?
Lambert.
And Adam Lambert already had a built-in audience.
Yeah, so they're getting a whole new audience again.
Yeah.
They're
Are they
getting a whole
doing
new-
meet and greets or they don't do that?
As
I
far
doubt
as I
it.
know, no,
I
it wasn't
doubt it.
offered on the website.
I don't-
I don't
think so.
Ticketmaster, I think, is what I usually go through. I didn't see
But
it.
I remember seeing all like when people go to see Def Leppard and they're screaming. I'm like, listen, I saw them in their heyday. I'm glad that people are appreciating it, but I feel so special that that came from my
I saw Freddie.
decorate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some bands I didn't see, and when we used to sing on the corner in Newark, we used to sing doo-wop. I love doo-wop. I love heavy metal. I love the Monkees. I loved all kinds of music. I listened to rap in the 80s when rap was rap and not this violence-prone stuff now. I
Agreed.
listened to
Agreed.
disco music. Brian Adams nobody knows this. Let Me Take You Dancing was his first hit. He was 16 years old. He sounds like a girl on the album.
Didn't know that.
Before
And
it's
it was
called
disco.
it was called Let Me Take You Dancing. You will not, if you listen to it, you will not know it's Brian Adams.
We used to live basically at Orthodox Royal Manor North on Route 1 in North Brunswick, and he had a disco room. The Rock was great.
They
He
all
had a
did.
disco
They
room.
all
Sooner or
did back
later,
then.
we'd all go in there because the chicks were dressed.
I listened to everything, but it turns out that heavy metal was my,
Yeah, it's your forte, man.
you know what I'm saying? I'll listen to Sinatra. I'll listen to Tony Bennett. I loved Jimmy Roselli. I loved Italian music. I play Umberto Tozzi all the time on that when we.
No,
when
like
Umberto Tozzi.
listening to music
Sounds like a
since I
disease.
met Carlo. It's great. Like he loves heavy metal.
It's like a toe
Until
fungus.
today, I'm thinking to myself, how do you go to a club and dance to heavy metal though?
Well, yeah,
That's
it's
not
more
what
of
it
a
was-
thrashing kind of
It's
a thing.
not-
Yes, which
that-
I like because
So,
I'm not a
like,
good
if
dancer
you're
anyway.
not-
But
if
yeah,
you're not like if you're into dancing, to me that's not dance music. That's
Well,
just
it's
Well, no,
not
it is.
dance
It's just different
great
kind of
listening
dancing.
music.
Well-
to me, it's more like a treadmill music.
Whatever. It's a dancing music, just different kind of dance. That's all.
It's high energy music, but
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not designed for people to dance. It's designed for people to enjoy it.
Right.
You know, dance music is dance music,
Well,
just
like
like
I said,
opera. Some people get passionate about opera, but
Right.
you can't dance.
oh,
to it.
Oprah Winfrey's got quite a following. She really does.
You know, it's
Broads
like,
really like her, man.
you know, not everything is you can dance to. I mean, you can dance to country music. You could do line dancing. You could do disco. Kiss's most famous single is "I Was Made for Loving You,"
Yeah.
and that was turned out to be one of the biggest disco songs ever made.
Right.
They didn't design it that way. That's one of the rare
Because
songs
you
that
could
you can dance
it,
to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could dance to "Paradise by the Dead." There's certain songs.
You
I
could.
mean,
You could.
You're not going to dance
yeah.
the Five Finger Death Punch. I mean,
Let's
you
put it
know.
this way: you can dance to all that music, but it's not made for dancing.
Right.
Right.
But it's all danceable. It doesn't matter what kind of dancing you like to do. Disco is made for dancing.
Right.
Dance music is made for dancing. It depends, you know.
Yeah.
What was the question?
80s. Let's
Oh,
go to the
80s.
MTV and
You
music.
didn't answer yet. So
Oh, the 80s were to me. It was a. I liked all the eras, but what I liked about the 80s is when I first went solo after I wasn't in bands anymore, and my comedy career started to grow.
Yeah.
So that's 80s to me
That
is
was
like
the birth of that, right?
Yeah, it was the birth of that. Playing the Old School Inn for 3 years in Lavalette, and little by little the comedy kind of grew out of that. And then Rascals opened up, and I went right to Rascals as a headliner. So that was the 80s to me is like my comedy career. It was like my second career.
Well, I also started late in the 80s too, you know, but like I said, the music, the TV shows that people are raving about, and I'm like, I feel special because, wow, they know, they're finding out what I already knew, like Miami Vice and all those shows that came out in the 80s, and the movies, The Breakfast Club, they don't make them like that anymore. I don't care what you say. You know, and people, there's like movies that I'll watch as many times. Animal House, I'll watch it every time it's on, and I won't get tired of it. There's just certain movies like that, and they're just not making comedies like that no more.
Well, what's your favorite movie of all time, Carlo?
Well, it's really.
I have three.
Obviously, there's no wrong answer. You know.
I have
Yeah,
three.
I would have
Yeah.
to say Animal House. Believe it or not, Let's Do It Again with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. What a funny movie.
Had that at a drive-in when I was 18. Let's
I
do it
love
again.
that. Uptown Saturday Night.
Yep, Uptown Saturday
great
Night.
movies. Caddyshack. You know,
Yeah.
it's a Blazing Saddles. I can
Blazing
go on and
Saddles,
on.
yeah,
You know?
Blazing
But
Saddles, great.
as you can see, I definitely favor comedies. You know what I'm saying? I love dramatic
Oh.
movies too. You know, but
Mine is the producers, the original producers.
Yeah, I saw it numerous times.
Mad World.
Yes.
oh yeah, yeah.
And Let It Ride. Those are my three favorite comedies.
Mad,
and Day at the Races by the Marx Brothers.
yes.
Gisela, you're a kid compared to me, so let's hear you answer this.
Oh, my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And again, no
Favorite-
wrong answer. It's what grabs you.
I'm a little on the
Comedy movies.
comedy movies.
Okay, there you go.
Ugh.
No, you could do in general. You know,
but
'cause she's a little different.
But I'm curious to see what her comedy movies are.
She's not big on. She don't find
My,
things
all
funny
right,
the way
Beverly
we know.
Hills Cop,
Yeah.
Okay.
Police
That's a good-
Academy,
There you go.
Okay.
and let's see, what was my other? comedy movies.
All right, from a chick perspective, forget comedy. From a chick perspective,
See, what's interesting? She's picking stuff from her era.
Right.
yeah.
From my
Yeah.
like, I love
Well, she was young though. She
like
was only
musicals.
like.
I like West Side Story. I like
Right.
Mary Poppins, Grease,
Sure.
Saturday Night Fever, things like that.
Why don't you stop
Dirty
lying and
Dancing,
tell them
La
your
Bamba.
favorite movie is Hocus Pocus?
No, that's Halloween. I liked all those.
Yeah.
No,
All the
I love
dance
comedies.
movies.
You guys know
Dirty
that.
Dancing, like.
I can't not try to be funny. That's just me.
But
But
I would say probably Dirty Dancing would be my favorite.
there's a
Really?
couple of
Favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a couple of love stories in my life that just blow me away. Electric Horseman, which I think is wow, Fonda.
Somewhere in time.
Yeah, I like that one too. But no, Electric Horseman, and a made-for-TV movie that I have on DVD, Griffin and Phoenix,
Wow.
Peter Falk and Joe Clayburgh. It's just but I'm a sap because I never had that kind of female attachment in my life. So
Paul, what's your favorite dramatic movie that you've seen over the years?
Dramatic movie.
Yeah, like a love story or like a not even so much an action movie, like something that was maybe a true story.
I love biography movies. Are we talking about that last week? I mean,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Bohemian Rhapsody, it's
I
a
love,
biography.
I
yeah.
love,
your
I love the
favorite
Al
one?
Jolson story. I love the Al Jolson.
Which
story.
one?
is
Larry Parks? That's the first one I saw too, with
love
Larry
that movie.
Parks. Yeah.
I love the new Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I love
That's
You-
my favorite movie.
you know you're
now
gonna
is
think I'm
Yeah.
crazy,
Rhapsody.
but I love the
Yeah.
movie Rudy.
Oh, that's great. It's a classic.
You know, I love horror movies. I love Children of the Corn. She thought it was the worst movie ever made.
I love
But to
the
us,
Abbott
it's a
Costello meets
classic.
Frankenstein.
The scariest movie I saw when I was a kid was The House on Haunted Hill.
Oh yeah.
But even
When
as,
the woman comes out.
as much as I love Abbott and Costello,
Right.
I still
Oh,
find Abbott and
Frankenstein.
Costello as a little kid that used to freak me the fuck out.
Yeah,
Abbott and
I got
Costello Nick
scared.
Frankenstein.
That's still one of my favorites
but
too.
I love it. It's a great comedy.
Classic.
Well,
The whole thing when the Wolfman's chasing him
Man.
around.
Yeah.
The one movie that I really got scared of as a kid, but I still wound up liking horror movies, was The Exorcist when she started like turning her head.
That was very scary for its time.
Did you ever see the director's cut when she comes down the steps like a spider?
Oh yeah, they didn't put that in the
Holy-
regular movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Woo. Sorry,
I'll
my
tell you
voice
what,
isn't normally that high.
For
I'm
that
freaked out.
time, that was a shock.
For its
movie.
time, that movie,
Hell
scared,
yeah.
that movie scared the hell out of a lot of people.
Why you do this
For
to
its
me,
time.
Timmy? Timmy.
Yeah, why you do
do this to me?
My favorite comedy movie you just reminded me is Easy Money.
That's a great movie
Easy
too.
Money is a classic.
Classic.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
we're browsing.
funny.
Look, we're browsing.
Open 23 hours, paper plate on the window.
But even Joe Pesci, the shit he says at the end of the movie. All right, now Statue of Liberty, make a left by that statue of the broad, you know.
I was a fan of Ronnie Dangerfield. Like I like Back to School.
He is great.
I saw him in performance one time live.
Silver is down. Call the Long Ranger. He'll cheer him up.
But as the 80s for me were the end of my elementary school year, the beginning of my
You
junior
are
high
a
school.
kid. Wow.
And that's when Cabbage Patch Dolls came out.
Yeah.
and,
Strawberry Shortcake.
Strawberry Shortcake. And,
What else?
but I remember, like, just admiring the style of the 80s with the big, teased hair. Aquanet was big. The ripped jeans and the,
Yeah,
the
everything- See,
half shoulder shirts, things like that.
I liked
bandanas.
the UK synthetic sound for music on MTV. I did. I still like it. The hair bands, like in the US and
Yeah.
all, they never did it for me.
Well-
but the synthetic music in the UK, I
Well,
loved
the
it.
UK was always ahead of us with music.
Seems
and,
like it,
you know.
yeah.
But
Seems
see,
like
But they got their influence from us.
Yes, they did.
see,
That's true,
the-
too.
They've made it their own.
Say hi to
Hey-
Benny Rizzuti, he said.
Hey, Benny boy.
Is he still playing short?
Hey, how's Phil doing? Your
Holy
uncle,
cow.
Phil Rizzuti. No.
Rudy Gazzuti. Hey.
See, she just made a good point. The '80s, the fashion, the TV, the music. It was the decade that clicked on all
It
cylinders.
was different, like the lace gloves. and,
Great
like,
movie.
Every decade has its own things.
From the early 80s, Valley Girl. The
Oh, with Nicolas Cage.
soundtrack is awesome. Oh,
The
great movie.
Just the soundtracks from
yeah.
movies were.
Yeah, they
you
were,
know.
too.
How about Barbarella?
Yep.
Oh, with Jane Fonda.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Actually, Duran Duran got their name from that movie because that was the name of the astronaut
Yeah.
Right.
that
Yeah.
they were trying to find
Yeah.
in the
Right.
movie. But see, that's interesting.
How about the original Planet of the Apes when it first? Now you see the ending for the first time. You see the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah,
That
like,
was
hit-
great.
like
What a great
buried up
ending.
to his neck in the sand. And
That was a great ending.
get your hands off me, you goddamn filthy ape!
That's a good intro.
It's a madhouse.
Yes. Charlton Heston. Yeah.
But that ending, the first time I see the ending, it was like, holy shit.
Hey, 10 years before he could part the Red Sea. As soon as the ape showed up, he's dead.
Now, when you guys were growing up, because like when I was in school, there was a big movie that was like the talk of like everything. Jungle Fever was a big deal,
Right.
for my age group. What was a movie that was like a big deal for your age group?
Gosh, there's a few. One of them is To Sir with Love, obviously. Not
That
necessarily
was a big
shocker,
one.
but
That was
yeah.
a big one. That was. It was
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, it was kind of good.
Oh
Great theme
gosh,
song.
right around 68, 69, 70, there's a fistful of phenomenal era movies like Five Easy Pieces,
Right.
Joe.
In the Still
Peter
of the
Boyle.
Night.
Oh,
In the Still of the Night. Don't forget.
That gave Peter
Yes.
Boyle a whole career. That
Yeah,
movie.
Yep. There's a handful of those even the original movie MASH.
Well,
Yeah.
growing up, I know that it caused a lot of controversy, and it was very vulgar for TV. Roots.
Oh yeah,
It was
Oh, yeah.
great.
It was like people couldn't watch some of the scenes for a made-for-TV movie back then.
It was great, though.
That
Woke
was-
a lot of
it was
people
a great
up.
movie, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I was a freshman at college. My freshman English professor was the granddaughter of slaves, and she was about 70 years old. So she knew about Alex Haley, and she had read his autobiography, and she told us the name of that book was something his grandmother told him, don't forget your roots.
Right.
So she turned me on to it, and I was like, oh, this is classic shit.
Wow.
And the other TV movie that did that for me, Rich Man, Poor Man.
That was a great movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Peter Strauss.
they don't do those TV movies like they were
The miniseries.
awesome.
The miniseries. Yeah.
Benny just said Easy Rider.
Oh, yeah.
That was a classic.
Oh my God, Nicholson,
Nicholson had his first
Fonda,
movie, yeah.
and what, the other psycho.
That's not Dennis Hopper.
How
Yeah.
about Chinatown with Nicholson?
When
Yeah, but it wasn't a
they
big-
put the
yeah.
knife in his nose and
Yeah.
you know. Oh,
Well, you talking about when you asked the question, Giselle, you meant like something that was controversial.
No,
or?
controversial, or even like that. Even some people didn't want you to watch it, like forbidden.
Well, you know
No.
what was a messed up movie, and I'm surprised they showed it. I don't know if
Even
you guys
West
are gonna.
Side Story was kind of.
Well, because it was
you
about
know.
a little before me, but I know of it. Yeah.
the whole racial
Right.
undertone. But you know, it was a really weird movie to watch. It was a couple of them. I don't know if it was 70s or 80s. Remember Sybil with
Yeah.
Sally Field?
Yeah, late 70s.
Because the
That's
dude-
what really put her on the map. No, it was before Smoking the Bandit.
Yeah, but to
Yep.
do that kind of like the abuse back then, like it was like a real. Now it's even more relevant, but back then,
Yeah.
you know. And then the other one with Willard,
Yeah.
with the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy that collected rats or something.
Yeah,
I
Davidson.
forgot the name of this, but there was the movie about the transgender that got killed. That he was,
I don't
he
know what that
was
is.
like acting like he was a woman, and then he got killed. And
I
I
don't.
forgot.
have
What,
no
what
idea.
era was it?
Oh God, I think it
That's
had to be
set-
like
yeah.
either the early '90s or
Uh-huh,
late
that's what
80s.
I'm thinking.
I forgot which
Well, there was
one.
Divine. He was a singer, but he was
No, he wasn't a singer.
No, I know what you're talking about. I
But he
can't
was
remember
like,
the movie
he didn't
name.
tell anybody that he was
Yeah.
a guy, but he was.
And it was played by an actress that
just
we
a
would
girl.
know too, and I
Yeah.
can't think of it.
I forgot. That was another
That
one.
one. That
you know.
one's escaping me. I
I
don't.
don't know what movie that is.
Carlo won't tell you. Some Paul was a little bit younger than me. He'll remember too. Kids in movies and TV never got hurt back in the 60s.
Right.
No,
Never
I mean,
got
you
hurt.
know.
It was like an unwritten law. Kids don't get hurt.
It's
you know?
the way it evolved. Like you didn't used to see, like on when the Dean Martin roast and on TV, every scene was a cigarette. Now you don't see it at all.
Well, that too. Oh my God.
Watch an episode of Columbo.
Even
and
the
see how many
cartoons had cigarettes. Bugs
know?
Bunny, smoking.
in the 80s. everything.
Flintstones would do commercials on commercial breaks for Fred was smoking Winston's
Yeah.
at home. True story.
You know?
Yeah.
Even when we watch Mrs. Doubtfire, starts out with the animation that he's trying to say not to smoke. It's bad for you.
Yeah, but like watch Columbo. Everybody's had smoking on the Dean Martin roast. They were smoking right there in the
It might,
dais.
but I'll tell you what, it might have been Falk had a role in that too. And I'll tell you what, that movie I told you guys about, Griffin and Phoenix, came
Yeah.
out around '76, made for TV. Him and Jill Clayburgh, their characters are both dying of cancer, and they're smoking like crazy in the movie. And they're not bums or anything; they both live well. But yeah, every scene in the movie, like breakfast. There's a breakfast scene out in the balcony, and they're both smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Let's.
It's like second nature, right?
What is the weirdest movie you've ever seen? Not so much shocking, but it was like, okay. You know.
I would say the Bird Box just recently. With,
That was a strange
That was
one.
like the weirdest thing I ever sat through.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't even cool. It was just strange.
The whole time I'm like, Jesus, just like. If you guys watched the movie just to the end, you'll know what I'm talking about. It
In
was just
college, I
crazy.
went to see a Joan Rivers flick with Billy Crystal. He was in it too. It's supposed to be a big deal. Rabbit Test, I think it was called.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
I really didn't like the movie. I bet you if I saw it today, I might like it. I couldn't stand it back then.
It was a. Yeah, I know. That's a wow.
Did
I
you guys
remember
like the
watching.
Austin Powers movies? 'Cause
That
those
wasn't
are
a
kinda
weird movie,
freaking
but-
a little strange, no?
You know, it was a messed up movie. I enjoyed it though. Powder.
That was a strange
That
movie.
was a really.
Yeah.
Don't know of it. Don't know of it.
You know,
Powder.
he was the guy that I can't think of his name. He's a very famous actor, but they don't know where he came from, and he has these like powers.
And he's bald and very pale, like almost albino.
He didn't like the fact that the guy was hunting deer, so he touched the guy and put the fear of the deer after the deer got shot into him, and the guy never went hunting again.
Yeah.
It was just a strange movie. And
It is.
He was shunned because he was like albino looking. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand him, and then at the end they were chasing him, and he runs and just disappears into the lightning or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very strange movie, but it was a good story. But it was
No, it's cool how some movies have a genre all themselves.
Yes, they do.
And the one that's like that is Being John Malkovich. There's no way to describe it. It's just its own kind of movie.
Yeah.
Right,
It
it's
doesn't
like-
fit in the genre.
yeah.
Did you guys like E.T.? That was another.
I love that.
That's
Yeah,
a
kidding me?
classic '80s movie.
Who
yeah.
didn't cry at the end of that movie?
That was awesome.
Close Encounters was a weird subject about UFOs.
I loved it.
You know?
I saw a UFO when I was 14. I've always
I've seen
believed.
plenty of 'em.
So I loved Close Encounters.
Powder
I've
was
seen
great.
plenty
yeah.
of 'em.
What you know was a good story, and I kind of felt bad. Phenomenon with John Travolta.
Yeah.
I love the first half. I hate the second half.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't know.
I
it was
loved
a
him.
shame. I thought he had legit things. and
Exactly.
It turns out it's like
there's a cancer, it's a tumor, and he dies. It's like, come on.
Cool movie.
Yeah, such a great premise, and you blew it at the end.
Yeah.
Face Off.
Oh, yeah. I love that too.
It's
That
a
was
great
good.
movie.
Great
That's one of those unique movies that, you know, like that. Just the premise of it that they're able to switch. That was cool. That was
Yeah.
something different at the time. That was a great movie.
I'll tell you, there are two movies in my life that greatly disturbed me. Deliverance was one of them.
Yeah, that's.
And I was about 15 when I saw that.
Yeah.
But one I saw at a midnight show was made like back in the 30s. It's called Freaks.
Oh, yeah. That's,
Yeah.
oh,
Really just
I couldn't watch
and those
that.
were all real people.
yeah, I
in that
couldn't
movie.
watch that.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
watch that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there
too-
was a lot of strange movies. Like you know how we said The Exorcist was like kind of shocking for its time.
Yeah.
Remember like Altered States and
Sure.
and Phantasm and
That's
I
what- that's
saw
where they
the
started getting
original
to effects, though.
Phantasm.
Hellraiser.
But that's where they start getting to effects, though. So it was made. What made the Exorcist so scary because it was the first of its kind.
Yeah, they
so it was
didn't
like, oh my god.
Boy.
I remember that. Yeah.
He'd throw that Japanese ball at your head. The blades would come out and all the blood would just flow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember when we first got HBO and they used to give you the little booklet and they used to show you the
Oh,
movies.
God,
on
I
it.
love those. Yeah.
And there was these strange movies. I'll tell you the strangest movie, but Powder wasn't even come close. But
Pulp Fiction too.
Pulp Fiction was like a dark
Yeah.
comedy, but it was very well written. There was this movie called The Sentinel.
Yes.
I
Old
remember
horror
that.
movie. At the end, when they're chasing a guy, there's an old man with balls hanging on his chin. It's so funny, but it was like one of those bleak 80s, not comedies, like horror movies that were like, where did they come up with this shit? Like, it was like, oh my God, like you never saw anything like that on
You know who
TV.
had cool, weird movies too? Back in the day, back in the 70s, PBS. They would have these home movies they made
they did,
themselves.
yeah, the documentary.
And one of them was called The Lathe of Heaven. And it's such a classic. And Ben Davidson, who was in Willard, is in this movie. And what the premise of the movie, which is so cool, I have it on DVD because I just loved it. This guy, whatever he would dream when he woke up, that was the new reality. And the psychiatrist, he tells the psychiatrist, like, "Well, you're crazy." He puts him under and he tells him what to think and what to dream. And he controls his dream. And the psychiatrist realizes things are changing. So the psychiatrist builds this machine to make him sleep and try to make the world the way he wants to make it. But everything he does has a bad point about it.
Oh my!
Like I want everybody to be the same. So everybody's now gray. He wakes up, everybody's gray. No matter what he does, it has something bad about it.
Here's
It was
a movie
great
premise for you. It's a movie that's going to be released this summer. This is the premise of the movie. It's upcoming attractions. Young Asian man, Japanese, Chinese, I don't know, but he's an Asian man. He wakes up one day, and the entire world knows nothing of the Beatles, like they never existed, except for this young Asian man.
Oh, okay.
So he starts performing Beatles songs, and
right.
it thinks the world thinks he's a
The
genius.
genius, right.
It's coming out this summer.
I love it.
Interesting premise.
That-
I like that.
Yeah.
premise. I used to
What's the
think
name of
that
it?
way.
Yeah.
What's the name of it, Tim?
I don't know. I saw the coming attractions, but I don't know.
Speaking of weird movies, remember the movie Soylent Green?
Hell
Sure,
yeah,
of course.
hell yeah.
Edward G.
Tell me-
Robinson.
Tell me
yeah.
that ain't a frick.
And how true it is now. McDonald's, they've been proving that there's people in the food and there's
Now,
dead.
when I was little, I don't know why it was funny, but I
Human meat.
barely remember. History of the World was funny to me.
Oh, that's
Part
a
one.
classic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait-
piss boy. Oh, piss boy.
Wait for the shake.
They're trying to get
And
away.
all the Dudley Moore movies were.
That's a guy who
Arthur.
Yep.
Classic.
And he's in a class.
Lovesick
by
is
himself.
another one I couldn't live without. Lovesick with Dudley Moore, Elizabeth McGovern. Lovesick.
And when I was a little girl, my favorite movie was Toy.
I could see that.
With Richard
Toy. Oh, the toy. Yeah, it
That
was
was
great.
funny.
Do you remember a movie with Yul Brynner called Westworld?
Yeah,
Sure,
I do.
of course.
What a
That was a great premise
They
too.
just remade
Yeah,
it.
the robots
A
and
couple
shit.
years ago, they remade it, or within a year ago.
Yul
yeah.
Brynner and Brolin,
White
James
Danner?
Brolin.
James
Yeah,
Brolin.
Oh my God.
Great movie. And what's his name? Paul Benjamin.
Speaking of James Brolin, remember the movie The Car?
The Car.
It was about a car that was possessed, and he couldn't. And
Oh yeah, and come
Brolin
out of the
was-
dirt and everything.
Yeah, James Brolin was the sheriff.
It's like a black. It was a black car, like a
Yes.
like a Challenger or a
Yes, it
with
was
a
like one of
Charger
those-
or something like that.
Not even. It was older, like a.
It would come out, they came out of the dirt. It was chasing the guy.
Benny said
Yeah.
something with the name is Yesterday.
That might be the name of the movie.
Yesterday
Yeah.
is the name
Yes,
of
it's
the
got
beautiful-
yesterday's
Perfect
the
title.
The one
Perfect
you're talking
title.
about,
Yep.
No, another list of weird movies from PBS besides Lathe of Heaven. Between Time and Timbuktu and Steam Bath, which Bill Bixby, where he's in the steam bath, and this Mexican guy in the steam bath is saying that he's God. And through the whole thing, you realize he is God.
Oh wow.
It's a great. The PBS used to have the greatest weird kind
That
of
is
movies like
weird.
that.
I never. Yeah. I didn't
Are
know
you sure they were made for PBS? Because they never
Yeah.
had that kind of a budget. Or did they just,
Oh no! Not that they didn't make them on PBS, but
Okay.
the only ones that showed them.
yeah, they showed them. That
They
makes
showed
more
'em.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, they
That's
made
why they
them.
was always doing fundraisers. They never had a budget, you know?
No, they didn't make the movies.
That makes
They
more
showed 'em.
sense.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
it
showed 'em.
does.
But Lathe of Heaven. You ever get to see Lathe of Heaven? Watch Lathe of Heaven. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
History of
think
the world. When they're trying to get away and they pull up on Moses and he parts the water, turns out it's a stick up.
Well,
How about-
God, you son of a bitch, you bastard.
How about
you.
this one? He's the 20 and he drops the 10 commandments.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, being that I come from the crazy strict Italian family, when the part comes with the leaf and the leaf goes up,
Yep.
and I wanted to know why everybody laughs, and nobody would tell you. No.
Even
Brooks
in
was so
Spanish Inquisition when it turns into a musical.
Right.
Yeah, really.
That's great.
The
though.
Inquisition.
The 70s movies, they didn't care about the nudity. Remember the Great Texas Dynamite Chase?
HBO had that. I sure saw
Oh
it, man.
my God, that was so great.
Boobs all over the place, man. Oh, that was awesome stuff, man.
That's what the B in HBO stood for.
Yeah, that's
Off
right.
the wall movies. Remember the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai?
Bonsai.
I think that was
Buckaroo
John
Banzai.
Lithgow was in that.
Yeah, he was.
Did you guys watch the Rat Race? That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still living it.
Before Cannonball Run, there was Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally, you're right.
Well, Michael Shara's in the Shazarin.
I'll tell you what. Before guys like Chase
And
were
Raul
famous,
Julia.
Yes.
we'll say around 74 and 75, there were a couple of really bizarre off-the-wall movies. One was Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
And
Chevy
the other
Chase's
one
first
was
movie.
Tunnel Vision.
Tunnel Vision.
They
Yeah,
were
same
both
era.
totally off the wall. Nobody.
That was all for heads. It was all
Yeah.
people that smoked.
Yeah.
That's what all those movies were.
Yeah.
They used to show them at late night at
we
the
had
movie
those
theaters.
at the drive-in I worked at.
Yeah,
back
we used to
then,
go
yeah.
to with movie theaters. If we go to them late at
Remember
night,
this
watch those movies.
stupid movie I don't know if it was this late 70s or They Call Me Bruce.
Oh, God, I loved
Everybody
it.
thinks-
I loved it.
I eat sushi all the time.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's name is Sushi.
That's a great flick. I can't think of that guy's name.
Yeah, he was like a unknown actor.
But I
yeah.
love the movie. They Call Me Bruce.
Another great Richard Dreyfuss movie, Moon Over Parador.
Oh yeah.
Raul Julia and Richard. That's a great classic movie. He looks like a dictator, and the dictator died, so they make him the dictator. He has to act like he's an actor, and they make him like. That's a great movie too.
Yes, I like The Moon Over Parador.
That's a great movie.
All right, now the stupidest movies. Like,
Dumb and Dumber.
Any of those 50s type movies.
Ishtar was the stupidest movie.
Oh, God, that
lost a lot.
crashed to it. Oh,
Oh,
God,
man,
yeah.
they bombed
lost
the
a lot of
But
shit.
you know what I'm
Forward.
thinking? I think it was two buddies in real life that just, let's have some fun
Exactly.
and make a movie.
Yeah, they made they made
Beatty
money.
and Hoffman, yeah.
They got paid either way, so.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, it bombed.
did
It
make any
totally
money.
crashed,
They lost
man.
a lot of money that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like.
Most of the real bad type movies were like in the 50s, really. All those chiller theater movies.
Depends if you thought how you think they're bad, though. You know.
Well, I mean, when it's just badly done.
You know what I mean. It's just,
Yeah,
but still,
someone
they're kind of
campy and fun.
entertaining in their own way.
Yeah, someone
I
campy
love-
and fun.
I
Yeah.
love the stupid comedy. Remember Brain Donors? With
Yes.
Bob Nelson.
Yeah, I have it.
No, I don't
John
know it.
Turturro's in it, right? And
Yeah.
Nancy Marchand, who played Tony Soprano's mother.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's talking to her.
It's like a Marx Brothers movie.
And John Turturro had the best line. He goes, "Oh, Lillian, hold your chins up high." Just the stupid one-liners
What
from that
about
movie.
Jerry Lewis? Didn't he have like movies like Flubber and stuff like that?
No, not Flubber.
The Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Who did Flubber?
Flubber was a Walt Disney movie. It was, what's his face? Kurt Russell.
Yes.
But
And Fred
the Nutty
McMurray. And Fred
Professor,
McMurray.
He created Flubber from the Nutty, right? Jerry Lewis,
I
he
don't
made
know.
the Flubber, the one that bounces off the wall.
No, no,
He didn't
no,
do that?
no.
I don't know why I remember
No,
that
two
he
different
did that.
movies. Two different movies.
So who made that?
Oh, no.
Original.
The Flubber was Walt Disney movie.
Yeah, Disney's
Before
original.
Walt
Yeah.
Fred
Disney,
McMurray.
Like the
Fred
original
McMurray.
with Jerry Lewis. What did he create? I remember he created something. Was he like ever a scientist that was like?
Yes,
That was the Nutty Professor.
The Nutty
yeah.
Professor, one of them.
He was the
called,
liquid
yeah.
that would make it liquid that would make him dapper and like a cool guy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that.
Buddy
it
Love.
bounced Around. Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite Jerry Lewis movie, The Delicate Delinquent.
Yeah, with
him
Davin McGavin.
Yes, they play two cops, Damon and Pythias.
You know my
With-
favorite Jerry Lewis
Yeah.
movie is The Errand Boy. He's working on Paramutual, was supposed to be a Paramount Theater set, and somehow they're doing launching all the dailies, and somehow he's in all the dailies of all the movies.
Oh, my
he's like
God.
an errand boy just running around doing stuff.
Mike
no kidding.
It's a classic movie.
Michael Lepowski said any movie that Burt Reynolds was in was.
You'd think he'd like the Big Lebowski.
I tell you what,
I think so.
as much as I love Burt Reynolds, he had a lot of clunkers. Remember the movie The End where he was trying to
I
kill
liked it.
himself?
That was a Burt-
I liked it.
yeah,
The
it was
ending
a
was great. I
Notebook
liked
movie.
it.
Yeah.
Him and Dom DeLuise. Yeah.
Did he do
The end was the one with
Sally
silent movie.
Field?
Let's how about silent movie?
Yes.
Nobody talks. The only words that talks at the very end. Marcel
Marcel
goes,
Marceau.
no.
If
Fix
you
him a
get a
boat.
chance, Burt Reynolds' final movie was about 2 years ago. It was okay. It was called The Last Movie Store. It wasn't. It was really autobiographical, even though there
He
was
actually was a very good actor.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him. I loved him in,
He was in- he was- he was-
Deliverance. I loved him in The Smoking and Bandits.
He's
Sharky's Machine, I like too.
Love that.
He was a regular in Gunsmoke.
Yes.
He sure was. Yeah, he sure was.
You know, it's just I liked that he played Dan August too.
Yeah, yeah. Right before Smokey, he did a comedy similar to that, where he had a hot car. It was called WW and the Dixie
The
Dance
Dance
Kings.
Kings.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Again, we had that to drive in, and that was right before Smokey.
Get Hooper.
Yeah.
Oh, Hooper was great.
That was great.
Nothing
Stroll.
like the life of a
tell us.
Hollywood stuntman.
We had actually Buddy Joe Hooker on
I
the
know
show.
you did.
Stroker Race.
Didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
You know.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. How bad he was so big. I was going to see a Burt Reynolds movie no
And,
matter
and this
what.
is
you
this
know?
is me being an '80s cornball. Kenny Rogers movie called Six Pack.
I loved
Yeah,
it.
Diane
Loved
Lane.
it.
Diane Lane.
Loved it hands down. Loved it.
Yeah.
Diane Lane.
Look at
I'm just
Josella.
looking at you guys like, wow.
Is there a movie that you like, but it's like corny to you, Gisella?
Well, yeah, there's some corny movies I like. I like a lot of Jim Carrey movies, like The Mask.
I love
It's one of
Liar
my
Liar.
favorite, Liar
Mask is
Liar.
great. Liar Liar. Yeah.
I don't knock
Big Fat
Carrie,
Liar.
but I never did
Big
it for
Fat
me.
Liar I liked. I don't think you guys ever seen
Took
that.
my kids to see that.
Did you? With
Yeah.
the
I never
Ted
seen it
Gro-
all the
I
way
think that is
through.
so
I've-
fun.
Yeah,
Which
we
one?
had fun.
Which
We
one?
had fun.
The Big Fat
Big
Liar.
Fat Liar.
With Paul Giamatti.
I never saw that.
He turns the guy blue, and they
Yeah.
these
It's funny.
kids.
The kid had approved. He stole the kid's script, a movie script, and
Yeah.
the name of the movie that the kid wrote was called Big Fat Liar, and you know he bumped into the guy, and then he stole his script, and it becomes a movie. He sees the preview. The kid finds out. Now he's trying to get his movie back.
Yeah.
So it turns into.
It was
like
a good
really
family
cool
movie.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
taken my
awesome.
girls
Yeah.
when they were young.
No, it was a
Yeah.
great classic movie, but never really did well. But it was a great movie. Mr. Saturday Night, Billy Crystal.
Oh, that's a great movie.
He's
yeah.
got that line in there. I mean, it's typical comedy, but it's like, yeah, I had so much to eat, I shit a waiter. That's from that movie. It's classic.
Here's a closet movie that I like.
Mike Lepowski said Roadhouse. That's a very.
That's a
good
great
It's
movie.
all right,
That's
bro.
on
Very
That
TV.
blonde in that movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all right.
I always loved Patrick Swayze.
There he
Red
is.
Dawn. I like
Hey,
Red Dawn.
Dave.
We got Dave
Hot
Hodge,
Rod's here.
ladies and gentlemen.
The Hot Rod just walked in.
Oh,
here.
We're talking movies, brother. Get on there.
But here,
Favorite movie of all time,
oh,
anytime.
for Dave, that's gonna be hard.
No, it is going to be hard.
You need his microphone on, Gene.
I'm
Jane,
not sure which one it is. I'm going to go with both.
they're both out.
Like I'm Circus Seal.
All right.
It's like,
Viewer discretion is
There we go.
advised.
Yes. All right, so I would say it's a combination. It's either Godfather and or Airplane.
Oh.
Oh, Airplane.
Yeah,
Airplane was the very first spoof movie.
yeah, good
To me,
choice.
to me, that's one of the most perfectly comedically written movies ever.
And what makes it work is because there's no
Choice.
comedians in it.
Now here's
It's
Right.
all serious actors playing the part straight. That's what makes
Leslie
it work.
Nielsen. I mean, every
Gave him a
role
whole
he had
career.
before that, yeah,
Gave
it
him a
gave
whole
new
second
career. Yeah.
I tell you what.
They actually relaunched his career because he
sure did.
He was like a fifth-rate, serious actor, and
Yeah.
became a top
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Straight for
Forbidden
comic
Planet,
actors.
sitting
like
here
1959.
watching nobody
Leslie
said
Nielsen.
Chris Farley
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
But that,
I like them. They're
we're
okay.
talking about
you know?
comedies. They're gonna eventually come up. He was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have the Fire Stick, so we're every night we try to find new movies that come out. So I said let's try this one, and we watch a movie with Mark. I love Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God! It
I
was,
do too. He's
Instant,
very good.
Instant Family. It was
such a
funny,
movie. It was so sad.
but it was sad because it's about adoption.
Right.
It's a true story about this
yeah.
family that adopted 3
It's
children.
a really great story,
From a
and
crack
it's
mom.
funny, but it's also like
Same.
wow, you know.
And
this-
I'm
it's
like,
bittersweet.
can't help but crying.
But going back to what I was saying, I love Danny Aiello and I loved Jan Michael Vincent because you mentioned Hooper, but he did this movie together, and I would love to. I would watch this movie every day. It was called Defiance.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jan Michael Vincent was a merchant marine. He was home. He comes back to New York, and he's getting hassled by these gangs. And Danny Aiello's like with these, like he has this social club, and they become friends. And then it's a really great. Luca Brasi's in it from The Godfather.
Luca Brasi, yeah.
But
I like Danny Aiello in Once Upon a Time in America,
That's a great movie.
where they go out and they go into the hospital when
Oh
his
my
wife has
God.
the baby. They switch all the babies in the hospital around.
Yeah,
Great
isn't he
scene.
like the chief of police or
Yeah.
something? And they, you know, oh my God.
How about
that's
Coming
so-
to America? That was a great one. They're making a sequel finally.
Finally, yeah.
Same, yeah, with
See, I'm not-
Eddie Murray.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Never
because-
heard of this, but
I like the original. It was
Oh, they're
great.
remaking
Attack
West
of the
Side
Crab
Story
Mon-
too. So
Attack of the Crab Monsters.
I had
was-
that down the shore once.
yeah, when I was 20, we were talking about her the other
I
night.
got them in Toronto.
Yeah.
You got it at the what you call it, bananas and the
There we go, yeah.
hazelnut, yeah. But see, the cheesy movies like that, I never like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I'll forget it.
But I like them for what they are. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to myself and say it's the greatest movie ever because I know people that do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Lizzie, calm the hell down. Seriously.
It's all right.
My cousin, he's a crazy. I told you, he's the one. He collects all the horror movie stuff. He's a big buff.
Right.
He's like, he's been in Rue Morgue, featured many times and everything because
Does he
of
like the
collection.
Gremlins? No.
He is in love with the movie The Thing. The
Oh, the original one.
Oh,
With
John
James
Carpenter.
Arness.
The new one.
yes, the original and the 82
It's good.
remake.
You didn't
I
think
like
it was
the
good
remake
too.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
John Carpenter
head-
did it
when
great.
John
The
Carpenter-
head goes the legs and starts crawling the floor.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Like he's gotten to sit with John Carpenter and interview him before. I'm like, cool, it's great. It's not the greatest movie ever. Please,
No.
I love
Yeah.
you, but come on, stop.
Yeah.
No, it was a great movie though.
Like I don't
it's
think
a
Beetlejuice.
really one.
People like Beetlejuice. I don't really think it's.
Oh, that was a fun movie. Come on, that was
but
fun.
I don't think it was great.
Once again, it's a
No,
fun movie.
yeah,
I have a
it was-
lot of fun
right.
every time I watch it. And it's like, all right, seriously, come on. It's not even some of my other favorite movies. I know they're not like Heathers. Talking about the Beatles,
Yeah,
example.
seen
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But like that was for me. That's such a fun movie. It brings back a very specific
Right.
time in my life.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
anytime it's on, I gotta watch. it.
Right. Same thing with me. There's
But
certain
I'm not
movies.
going out of my way to watch. it.
I won't go out of my way to watch Beetlejuice.
Right.
If it's on, I'll watch it. There's certain
I
like
may
the
watch
Breakfast Club. I'll definitely watch it.
What-
Animal House.
What I like about Beetlejuice is Michael Keaton. That's what's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
about-
he
That's what's
made
great
the
about the
whole
movie.
movie.
He's a hell of an actor. He really is.
He really is. He does.
Yeah.
He's not the
And
guy
he's
that does
not,
drama.
he's not on
and
Howard
well.
Stern anymore either.
Michael Keaton did a movie. I can't think of
Birdman.
I was telling no. but-
Night Shift.
No.
Love that one.
He was dying of cancer, and he left a video
saw it.
of his life.
I think
for
it's
his
Saw it.
called
kids.
My Life.
I don't know.
Yeah,
what,
I
is that
saw
what
it.
it's called?
It's after a
right.
play.
Cool.
It's after a
Yes.
play. Yes.
What a great movie that was.
It was
Great.
very
What,
sad.
Multiplicity.
Yeah, oh
Another-
my god, that
Another
Love
good
that
look,
idea.
dramatic
Great
movie.
Great concept.
Michael Keaton, clean and sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gung Ho.
Gung Ho was a great
Ho was a
movie.
great movie.
Great movie.
See,
Well,
that's
maybe Dave will know the movie.
What?
We were trying to figure out the name of a movie of a transgender man that lived his life.
Crying Game.
No, I don't think it was.
No,
a
it's not Crying
though.
Game. No.
Oh,
But
Miss
like-
Miss Saigon or something like that. One of those?
No. It's
But he was a Hispanic.
Is
You know,
that
but he
the
looked
John
like a
Leguizamo
woman.
movie?
No,
an
no,
actress
no,
who
no.
plays that part
No,
too.
that was one.
That's the one with the
about
three
his
guys.
aunt. No, not Tu Wong Fu. There was another one.
But it was
Okay.
a true story. They
Yeah, and
filmed
it's an
it in
actress that
Texas.
plays the part. Somebody like a
Oh
Winona
my
Ryder
God, I
or
can't
something.
remember the
But
name of it. I thought
yeah.
for sure you would probably know.
No,
Yeah.
you got me on that one.
Sophie's Choice.
No, it's not it. I have to Google it.
Streep
later.
turned 70.
Well, the Crying
This
Game is
year,
about
this
The
month.
Crying
trans-
Game. Yeah, we seen that. That was
Yeah.
awesome. too.
That was a shock at the end. That was a big deal too when it came out. Like,
Sure it was.
Nobody was expecting that.
I was disappointed with Sling.
Kind of like
Blade.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah. Like
Well, I was just gonna say that it had the same shock value with Sleepaway Camp.
Sling Blade.
No, I
had-
think not as good as shock value as Sleepaway Camp.
with John Ritter. It was supposed to be like
Well,
this
yeah,
great
and
movie,
Billy Bob
but
Thornton.
I sat through the whole movie. It's like almost 3 hours worth of movie to see the guy get his head chopped off. No.
Some
Like,
people
that's-
call it a sling blade. I call it a Kaiser blade.
I mean, the guy spent more time peeing in the lake.
No, like that's a good movie, but it's. I think that's a good movie that's so overrated. Like it's a really
Yeah.
good movie, and I
Yeah.
get it.
There's a lot
The
of movies
trailer
that
was
get
better
that.
than the movie.
I
Right?
hate
know
when that
what?
happens.
That happens a lot.
I saw she watched Green Book.
That was cool. I
That was
liked
all
it.
right. I don't know. You know.
I
It was a
thought-
good
yeah.
story.
I don't know that
I
one.
love the story. It's on Netflix or
I saw it in the
Fire Stick or
theater.
Amazon.
It's good.
Yeah?
I think it's good.
I think
yeah.
it's a cool movie.
Did anybody see Godzilla, the new one?
Not yet.
I enjoyed it.
I was talking
good?
about
Yeah.
the old cheesy.
If you like the Godzilla movies, you'll enjoy it.
I was talking about the old cheesy like.
Yeah.
I lost mine in the house fire.
Yeah, I was.
I had the whole box set. I was so upset. That's one of the few that I lost. I'm like,
I was watching. I don't know if you saw this one, Dave. War to Gargantuas.
yes.
I was
A long
watching
time.
it. Oh, I was enjoying it so much. It's so corny, but you have to watch it. You know.
Like any of the Svengoolie movies.
Mike said
Yeah.
The Frisco Kid with Harrison Ford. And
That's
Steve
actually a
I
good
know
movie.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a classic.
Three Amigos.
That's a really fun movie.
Yes.
I like Martin.
Hey,
Martin Short's a great.
Look, it's a
great
male
actor.
plane. How could you tell? Look at the little balls on the bottom.
Martin Short's one of those guys who's very, very talented.
Yes,
Yes.
he is.
He doesn't get
And we
the
would talk
recognition
about
he
like
deserves.
controversial movies, like growing up that would be a big deal if someone said not to watch.
Blazing
to watch
Saddles?
it. Oh.
Well,
That was
if
very
they did it
controversial.
now.
Oh, yeah.
No, but if they did it now.
Oh,
Oh, they
I
would
don't
never
think-
be able
It
to.
would never
do
get
it
made now. They never get the money for it now.
Did you see that they did an episode of Archie Bunker?
I didn't watch it, but
I didn't watch it. How was it?
Performance. Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah, live.
I didn't
see
get a
it?
chance to
And
see
the
it.
Jeffersons.
I
too.
heard nothing good about him.
Really?
I didn't see it, so I don't
They
know.
were praising the acting, but you're not going to. Lightning doesn't strike. Woody Harrelson is Archie Bunker.
that doesn't work.
Marissa Tomei is Edith.
I tell you, Woody's a hell of an
She
actor.
could
as
probably
it
get the
turns
voice
out.
down.
The
Yeah.
voice, yeah.
That's about it.
Unfortunately, Woody's father was one of the killers of JFK.
Oh my God.
He was. He's one,
Well-
he's one of the shooters.
They said Jamie Foxx did a good George. He had the whole mannerisms down.
He's a
Sherman.
talent.
He
Yeah.
used to do that. That used to be one of the people he used to impersonate.
Right,
Which is
exactly.
why he also did good with Ray, because that was one of the people he did growing up in
Oh my God,
comedy.
it was so
that was one of
good.
his impersonations.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Like he used to play the piano. His mom
And he can
son.
sing.
Yeah,
And
and he could sing. So he had that in his background.
It was
That's why
all
he
down
always
pat.
used to do that. He was able to when he would imitate the keys
Right.
without the piano there,
Right.
for the stage.
Right.
It was so very visual that he was able to portray that.
It was perfect casting. For
right. It
him.
was perfect casting for him. He's
right in his
already
wheelhouse.
done it. Yeah, it was right
You
there.
want to ask Dave some of the inquiry
Yeah, let's get
lines?
Dave in
Let's
here.
get his input.
All right, Dave. Let's see.
I
you
did
do
see
your
the
homework?
By the way, you came late. Did you bring a note?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so you saw the questions, but tell
But
me
I didn't
something
remember 'em, so
about
go
your
ahead.
childhood that brings you joy until today.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I like. I'm at a point in my life right now that I'm able to try and give the weird fun with my son that I had with my dad.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
and
it. Yeah.
My dad was, fun, but in a weird way, and it was also very strict. I'm not like I'm kind of strict with my son, but I let him get away with murder.
Yeah.
Way in comparison to the way my dad was.
And he's got the knife in his hand.
right. So I'm like, all right, calm down.
Is he actually sitting outside?
No,
again?
not today. Not
No,
today.
okay.
I had to let him stay home
Now,
today.
I thought I could have swore, and if I'm wrong, didn't you say you had like a strange relationship with your dad?
It wasn't strange. It
That was
just-
Ed.
Yeah,
No, his father was strict.
No, my dad was very strict. I didn't have a strange relationship with him. It was just he was very strict, and he was in jail a lot. So not being there and then having this very powerful
Right.
figure like, hey, I'm like
Right.
throws you off a little. But I was very.
He was
close with him.
overprotective with you, or
He was definitely overprotective. Yeah,
and then that
He didn't want you
caused
up the
you to
same way.
drive down the shore in your underwear.
that too.
I could see Dave playing Lou Costello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I could
The
see it.
height, you've got the
It's the
height
face.
and
It's
the
the
look.
face. It's the face.
Yeah.
Somebody said that to me about like 6 months ago.
You know who
I
he
see it.
reminds me of? Lon Chaney.
Have no idea who that is.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Wolfman in
Junior,
the
maybe,
Costello
yeah.
movie.
Jr., the one that played Lawrence Talbot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Lou Costello. I see Lou
Jr.
Costello.
Somebody, I think it was February because it was a couple months before they did that tribute up in Patterson. They were like, maybe you should go do that. They need somebody that goes and look. I'm like,
You
really?
could've done it.
I'm like I wasn't. I'm like, sure. I said sure. Let me know.
Just need one of derby hats and the suit.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would have been okay with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, you
whatever.
also need Bingo the Chimp.
All right, so describe your perfect room with a view in details.
Like if you had a room looking
it
out
was
to
my
what?
own.
Yeah,
Ooh.
what would be your perfect room? You have a house now, so what's
Right.
your perfect room?
Well, right now I hate all
You
my
hate your
views.
house?
No,
No,
I
if you-
don't hate my house. I just don't like.
Where
the
would you
views,
like your
but
view to be, though?
If I was going to, and I'm a big fan of living in New Jersey. I love this place. I would want to go down with Manilokin.
Yeah.
Some of those
Oh,
are
okay. Right by the beach?
either on the bay side or the beach side. They both have
Beachside.
beautiful.
What's
views.
cool about those houses on the beach side? The front is on the ocean.
Yeah, the
Well, you'll
front
see
is
in the
there.
back when you drive down the road.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, they're all beachfront.
If I had my way, I'd kick Whoopi Goldberg off the view, but that's something, yeah.
But I think that's like one of the only towns in New Jersey that has it like that.
Right.
Whereas, like I think those houses are really nice.
They
Oh,
got
they're
they
real-
got
some real
really
nice
messed up though during Sandy.
Yeah, it was,
Not all of them, to certain ones.
No, but enough of them. It was.
Yeah.
Would you
I
ever
cried.
consider relocating?
It's sad when you come over the bridge now and that house is gone.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks so strange
And
there.
then they're all of them now are like all the way up.
Yep,
They're all high
yep.
up now.
There's one brick house there that's beautiful, and it's
Actually,
it's
a woman.
actually a contractor
She's a
that
brick
owns that
house.
Well, Billy
I
Joel
heard-
used to have one on the water there in Manilokan, and then
No, he didn't.
moved.
That was a rumor. It wasn't true. They also said he had a house in Loveladies down in
I heard Point Pleasant.
and they said he had a pool shaped like a pool like a piano. It
Yeah,
wasn't his
yeah,
house.
yeah.
It wasn't his house. He doesn't have a house.
Going-
And, Paul Stanley supposedly had a house in Manilokan. He doesn't have a house in Manilokan.
Going back to the 60s, Katharine Hepburn did have one of those.
Yeah, she
Manilokan
did.
houses.
And the house is still there. She doesn't own it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still there.
God knows she was somebody,
So
man.
basically, Ocean View for you.
I
Ken.
love ocean views. Yeah, I totally love.
That
ocean
seems to
views.
be the
Yeah,
consensus.
that
Yeah.
is, yeah.
I wouldn't
why
mind
not?
it.
Even
Why
if
not?
you like, I would like to have one of those houses right there, but I would also like to have an indoor hot tub, so I could still sit in my hot tub in the winter and enjoy
Right.
it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hot tub time machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was more recreational with the air hockey table, bowling alley.
Yeah.
I want the bong. Give me a
I
bong.
would just
I'll
have
live
to let.
anywhere.
I would like.
You
my
have a
house-
bong; it doesn't care what the view
Be
is.
anywhere.
It's whatever you want.
Make your own view. Put a mural up.
He wants to bong it up.
No, I just want my house to be one giant man cave.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Okay.
go to mountains.
Fun.
Go to mountains.
And then finish this sentence. The 80s were.
Amazing.
Attaboy.
Attaboy, Dave.
Attaboy.
Amazing.
All right, you got trivia
Say,
for us?
"Hey,
What do you got?
I have
Hey, I
liar,
bet.
liar, or trivia.
Hey, Babette.
Let's do.
We got Highlight? This is going to be fun.
You want to do trivia or liar, liar?
Oh, liar, liar. I thought she said
Okay.
Highlight.
All right.
All right. You gonna set me up?
Hi, liar, liar.
Yeah, so you ready?
Oh, Mike Lepowski said he would like a large den with a fireplace overlooking Epcot Center, Spaceship Earth.
Nice.
All right, that's
Okay.
not bad.
That is unique.
That's a guy that
man.
smokes.
Hey, Mike, I haven't met you, but that's pretty cool
There's
so
no
far.
wrong
today, man.
answer,
You're all
but-
right, man.
So now you could hang out with us, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, please. Yeah.
Oh, I
You're
want
all
to
right.
revise my answer. I would like to sit in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and look over the galaxy. There you go.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right, you ready, Joe?
They got
Views-
female pilots. Do they still call it cockpit? Or they call
Yeah.
it
I
like
was
muff
just gonna
pit
say,
or
I could
something?
just sit on his
No, they call it the vagina den.
The monologues.
That was best.
The labia lounge.
Well, I'm not a crook.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Lie, 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 lie.
Okay, ready? Google, the famous search engine developed by Larry Page and Sergey Brin, was originally called Backrub.
Nice.
I say false.
That's false.
So is it liar, liar?
I remember it being a
Liar,
different
liar.
name, but I remember it being backrub.
Yeah.
I say no fucking way.
And,
Wasn't Google a number when
While
we were
we're doing
kids?
this,
Seriously.
It is a number.
Yeah.
Craig says he would like a large ranch house in South Central Texas overlooking a ranch with no neighbors.
Oh, wow.
So he's a
A lot
loner.
of people
He's a
like
loner.
it.
So how many liars here?
I say liar.
I say
Liar?
it's false.
True.
You?
Liar.
You?
Liar.
It's true.
Jeez, I'm
They
never right on
eventually
these things.
changed the name to Google, which is a misspelling of the word Google.
Barney
I've been,
Google.
you know, I'm wrong.
With
Like
the
I've been wrong almost every
googly
time.
I never heard that. Usually I catch those
I
little
knew
stupid
they did
facts.
change their name, but I don't remember Backrub.
I don't remember backrub. I remember it being a different
and
name.
you would think I would remember Backrub.
I remember back page.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, back page, back rubs at back page.
Yeah, it was some Korean chick, and I was waiting for my happy ending. She said something like Google or something.
You didn't like her because she didn't. She had Venetian blinds.
Oh, at
she had
least.
no drapes.
That's my favorite cherry, Venetian blinds.
Oh my God. Chewing on apricot pits can cause psychedelic hallucinations.
I know they're.
I hope so. I'm going to buy apricots.
No, because I can't. You can't. Those pits are hard. I'm telling you.
Isn't that in Florida, Apricot Center? Oh no, that's Epcot. All right.
That's
know-
got to be false. Come
I
on,
know
that's gotta
that
be
certain
false.
pits that you eat are poisonous.
Yeah, Zazu pits. But she was an
Apple
actress in
seeds.
the 30s.
Zuzu petals.
Yes. No, apple seeds.
My
If you have
favorite
too
movie of
many
all
of them, you
time.
have too many.
That's my
arsenic
favorite
with
movie of
them.
all time.
Ford Fairlane.
Fairlane? I love that.
No,
movie.
no.
Oh, it's a classic.
What's that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wonderful Life.
It's a wonderful life.
That's what I
Fair
thought.
movie.
That's
Which
what
is
I
where
was
Ford
waiting for you to
Fairlane
say.
got that
Classic,
from.
period. No doubt about
My
it.
favorite movie.
All right.
of all
So
time.
what
never
is
get
it
enough
again
of it.
now? It's.
So is chewing on apricot pits can cause psychedelic
I say liar.
hallucinations.
Yeah, I go
I'll
live.
say that's
Georgia
true.
Chew.
And
Liar.
Liar.
True.
liar,
Liar.
liar, true. It's a lie.
I got one
apricot
right.
Pits won't cause hallucinations, but they contain a human killer. Can kill humans if eaten in large amounts of quantities.
That's what I'm saying. They're poisonous.
Well,
but
Yeah, but they
most
would
seeds
cause
have
personal
arsenic in it,
poison,
like
yeah.
apple
They sure
seeds.
do.
that's weird, isn't it?
Watermelon seeds, too.
Yeah.
Yep. If you eat enough of them, anyway.
Ready? Rats cannot vomit.
That's probably true.
The ones in my bedroom sure as shit do.
So you can't vomit though,
I got. You know what? I believe that because they get huge in New York City. They're the size of taxis.
and they can eat anything.
Liar,
They eat garbage. They eat all kinds of rotten food.
I
so
say true. I say
I'll
true.
go with true. on
I'll
that.
say true.
That's a fact, Jack.
Fact, Jack.
Fact check.
True. I mean, that's a lie. That's a lie.
It's a fact, Jack.
All right. I got 2 out of 3. I'm doing good.
Doing good. All right, ready? Bare knuckle boxing matches are safer and result in fewer boxing deaths than bouts.
I missed this.
Boxing gloves are
Moose
warm.
knuckle boxing matches. What was this now?
Bare knuckle boxing match.
Like John L. Sullivan.
Oh,
Back in those days, they
They were doing 82 round fights.
Yeah, they'd fight until someone couldn't fight anymore.
I would say
One guy
no.
actually had his eye knocked out.
I would say no because you're direct contact. But what do I know?
It's got to be dangerous. Come on,
Yeah.
fighting bare knuckles.
That's
Come
definitely
on.
bare knuckles. Definitely
Plus
more
blood
dangerous.
and everything. It's got to be dangerous. I would say it's no. It's,
So you're saying true?
Well, you know what? It could be that when
It's a
you're
fact
bare
check.
knuckled, you're protecting yourself more than if you would have the headset, the head.
it's got to be more dangerous. Bare
headgear.
knuckles.
But you know what it is? I think it's a false premise because it is more dangerous. That's why they started using gloves because it's more dangerous to go
Right.
bare knuckle. But more people have died because since the gloved era.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's probably true.
So I think it's a trick question. They're trying to get us on that.
Maybe.
one.
There's
So,
been numerous times I
bare
was 2
knuckle
knuckles
is worse
deep.
for you.
So you're going to say,
Bare knuckle is worse.
so it's not true.
I forget how was the question worded again. I forget how the question was worded.
Bare knuckle boxing matches are safer
Nope.
No.
Oh no.
and
False.
result in
Liar.
fewer boxing deaths.
Liar.
Everybody?
True.
Liar.
It's true. Gloves were never intended to be safety gear. Their purpose was to produce more knockouts.
More knockouts?
More knockouts.
Produce or reduce?
Produce.
They don't produce more knockouts.
So-
Come on.
That's what they were intended for, but that's not what happened. But
So
they
bare
they
knuckle
actually
is
caused-
safer.
Well,
Bare knuckle
I
is
got to disagree
safer
with that because when they have those little kids put on those giant, ridiculous sized boxing gloves, it's safety. You know you're not going to hurt anybody.
Well, the kids' gloves are softer too.
No, I mean those big ridiculous ones.
Oh, but
You have two
When
different
they
kinds
put
of gloves. You have
people in
regular
Sam-
boxing gloves and you have the sparring gloves, which
Yeah.
got metal
When
in
they
them
put
usually.
people in the sumo suits and they got a
Yeah.
belly flap each other.
Yeah. Because it's extra padding to not hurt you.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sure you guys will all get this one right.
Blue.
Lead singer David Lee Roth famously quit Van Halen over a feud that started with a pet cat. David Lee Roth was allergic to cats, but Eddie Van Halen refused to kick his beloved pet off the tour bus.
That's probably true because David Lee Roth's a nut job, so it's
Yeah.
probably true.
I'll say true.
He ruined Washington Square Park for America.
What about you?
Tim.
True? Everybody's
Yeah.
fact checked you?
Yeah.
Liar.
Fact
Liar.
check.
It's a lie. David Lee Roth did leave the bands behind in
Right.
'85, but there never was a dispute over any cats.
Okay.
Okay, real quick. David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar. I like David Lee Roth as a great frontman, but Sammy Hagar had the better voice and the better songs.
I'd
love
say
the
better
song.
frontman, but I don't know about songs.
I like that. I love that. I love that.
The early
era.
Van Halen stuff is classic.
It is, but I love the Sammy Hagar stuff. Had great stuff, man. Great stuff too.
Okay.
They're both great.
Van Hagar was still good.
Yeah.
Van Hagar. Pat Benatar and Joan.
And
Jett.
now Sammy Hagar's got Jason Bonham playing drums. He's got Michael Anthony playing bass, and this guy Rick Johnson playing guitar, and they sound
Is
incredible.
that for the chicken foot?
It's called The Circle.
The circle. Okay.
Incredible.
The circle.
Incredible.
Cycle. All right. Many famous.
years I've been obsessed.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I have too.
Many famous opera singers, like the late great Pavarotti,
Right.
have larger than normal rib cages, which allows them to sing loudly.
A lot of opera singers are big. I don't know if they have bigger.
That doesn't explain it for Beverly Sills.
I would think
Liar,
it has
liar.
to. I would think it has. Yeah, I would think it has to do with
Maybe
the diaphragm.
because
Diaphragm,
well,
yeah.
the diaphragm is if it's
Well,
contracted.
Beverly Sills used the
You
diaphragm,
can still,
but
you can still
know.
breathe in.
So Dave,
And then now you
liar,
I say it's false. Liar, liar.
I'll
Yeah,
say it's
false.
true.
liar, liar. You?
True.
Paul, liar.
Liar,
you
liar.
True. It's true. Opera singers don't have to be oversized. Don't have oversized rib cages, but it helps.
But they don't have to be.
They don't
Yeah.
have to
No, but
be,
it does help.
It's a
Oh,
it's
okay.
a
Misinterpreted on my behalf.
I don't like the wording on that one.
Right?
allow myself to introduce
protesting.
myself.
It's fake news. No, I'm kidding. Wild animals that live on islands are more aggressive than their mainland relatives.
Probably.
Yes,
They have to
because there's less,
they have to forage for food. Yeah, I would
there's less,
think so.
yeah, less food and
Yeah, wild boar, sure.
the boar's nest.
So that's a fact
Borscht,
check.
borscht belt.
I
Borscht
say that's
belt.
true. Yes.
Fact check. Fact
Sure.
check.
Fact check.
Lie.
And Paul's
Fact
fact
check.
check.
I said fact check.
It's a lie.
I'm-
Wild
I'm
animals
so bad at this
found
game.
on islands are generally tamer and more approachable than the same species found on mainland.
I am so bad.
Except
at
for
this game.
cannibals.
Fucking way.
Okay. Military equipment shipped to Guam during World War II carried devastating stowaway. The
Carried
brown
what?
tree stowaway.
Oh, stowaway.
The brown tree snake. Today, there are a million of these snakes on the island, twisting around power lines and causing constant power outages, known as brownouts by the people of Guam.
That's true.
I'll say that's
I'll
true.
say
That's
true.
definitely
True.
Fact check?
Fact check,
It's
fact-
true. And they also are responsible for the extinction of many Guam native creatures.
Oh man, this is terrible.
Also, every guinea pig that exists in this country came from one guinea pig.
Seriously?
I mean, someone brought a guinea pig into America, brought two guinea pigs into America, and every guinea pig is a descendant of those two guinea pigs.
So he's like the godfather of all the guinea pigs.
Are they from Sicily or?
I'm just saying, it's true. It's a true story. I forget. I think after it was, well, I forget when guinea pigs came
They're
here.
from Palermo.
Well, someone brought two of them, and every guinea pig that exists in this country is a descendant of those two
from-
guinea
And
pigs.
they're all
Castellamare
cops. I
de
don't get it.
Alrighty. Rattlesnakes were an important part. No, wait. Rattlesnake eggs were an important part of Blackfoot culture and were believed to give their warriors protection in battle.
And virility.
True. I agree.
Yes.
I say yes. Fact check.
Rattlesnakes don't lay eggs.
Oh,
Baby
shit.
rattlers are born lives. It's a lie.
All right. Trick question.
I'm not good at this.
All right, ready? The last one. 70s rocker Meatloaf received a PhD in
Dead.
microbiology from the University of Texas.
True. He was from Cleveland, though. But okay. I'll say.
Ah, he
True.
was a varsity tackle and a hell of a block.
I'll say fact check.
I'll say it's
I'm
true.
just guessing.
Liar, liar.
Lie.
It's a lie. While Dr. Meatloaf does sound impressive, he was far too busy building his music career.
Say,
He may have
that'd be a
doctored
good guy to
Meatloaf.
interview on the show sometime.
I'm trying.
I know,
I'm getting
I
a
know.
runaround from his Kieran Green.
Kieran Green.
I only got two right.
her and her brother
three.
Soylent.
I got three.
We got two of them right together. And, yeah.
Okay.
You want to do trivia?
Yeah, go ahead.
Trivia.
I got
Ready?
20 minutes yet.
All right. The beaver is the national emblem of which
Theodore.
country?
Of Theodore.
Yeah, the Cleaver household.
That's right.
Of country, so it's
Country.
outside the U.S.
Wait, what grows on those?
What's the question?
The beaver is the national emblem of which country?
Well,
Canada.
not anymore because they're into
Holland.
Brazilian waxing. So
What'd
it's
you say, Paul?
Canada.
You got it right.
Yes, the Canucks.
I know that because I spent a lot of time in Canada in my band.
In which movie did Humphrey Bogart play Charlie Allnutt?
African Queen.
Very
Right.
good.
That's right. Classic movie.
That's a classic guy. All nut. Those things were like this big.
Which U.S. state is nearest to the old Soviet Union?
Alaska.
Very
Alaska.
cool.
Yeah, Alaska.
The Bering Sea.
Like I told you,
separates
the
two.
movie Great Race. They had to
Right,
drive
it
to
was right
Alaska to
there.
get
That's
to
why I
Russia
was
and come down to France.
I was laughing at what we were talking about because these questions go
Yeah.
into what we were
Yeah.
just talking about. What is Chandler? I hate to say
Shamrock
What
Shake.
is Chandler's name in the sitcom Friends? His last name.
Bing.
Bing.
Very good.
Shan-
Brad.
Oh my God.
And who played his father?
Shenandler Bong.
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
Which is the highest waterfall in the world?
Lake Victoria. No,
No, I think you're right.
Victoria, yeah.
I think you're right.
no, Victoria.
It's not Victoria.
Victoria
The world.
Falls.
Oh wait. The
Is it in
waterfall.
Australia?
In
No.
the whole world?
It's in
Africa.
No, it's in Aruba.
Nope.
No, it's in Australia.
Don't
Is it in-
jump in
is it the one in Antarctica?
waterfall.
No.
Damn, never
It's not
mind.
Niagara Falls.
No.
No, it's got to be somewhere on
Bedford Falls. It's a Wonderful Life.
No.
No.
Oh wait.
What country? Give us a country.
I'll give you a
Tell us what country.
hint.
A
Check
hint.
it out.
Oh, in
Cuba.
Puerto Rico?
Cuba?
No.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Who says check it out?
Angel, he's from
Angel
Cuba.
and
It's Cuban.
Angel.
Cuba.
Falls.
Uh-huh.
Where is
Where's
that?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
South America.
So if he took his bike to South America instead of Miami, we would have got that right.
Okay.
Wow.
According to Greek mythology, who is the first woman in the world?
ISIS.
I married ISIS
ISIS
on the
was
5th
about-
day of
I
May.
was going to say Aphrodite, but she was a goddess, so.
According to Greek mythology, you said?
Yes.
Oh, I know this.
That's a trick one.
I'm surprised he didn't get it.
I know this too, and I can't.
Medusa.
Hera,
No.
No, she was a goddess.
Thetis,
No.
Athena.
Aphrodite.
I have no idea how much I need her.
I'll give you guys a hint.
Yeah.
It's a box. What kind of box?
Pandora.
Pandora.
Sir.
Vagina, the box of penis
I
comes
thought I
in.
knew that, but I didn't know.
Well, she had a hysterectomy, so now she's known as Xbox.
I know all you guys are going to answer this in once. Which author wrote Silence of the Lambs?
who wrote it?
Must have been a vegan.
Wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Where's
who wrote
James? No.
It. I don't know who wrote it.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote it.
James.
Give up.
Anthony
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Thomas Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, him,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have known that.
Oh, that's right. Tom.
that guy.
Good old Tom.
Tom
We
Harris.
had lunch that time.
Yeah.
All right, ready? In which year were the Academy Awards and Oscars first presented?
Late
1938.
20s. The first movie was Wings,
say?
1927.
No.
39.
It's in the 20s because Wings won.
Minus 10.
29.
29.
Yeah,
Wings
because
was the
Wings was
first
a
one,
silent
yes.
movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
that was the
because
first
of the stock market crash was in
Yeah.
1929.
Okay, ready? This is a quote. After all tomorrow is another day is the last line from which movie that won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1939?
Gone with the Wind.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Frankly, I don't give a damn.
Which 1952 musical comedy tells the story of three
Some Like It Hot.
performers making their transition from silent movies to talkies?
Al Jolson.
Singing in the Rain.
Al
Very
Jolson.
good. Singing in the Rain.
Wait a minute. What was the question again?
Singing in
Which
the rain.
musical made its transition from silent movies to talkies?
I thought it
The
was a jazz
characters,
singer.
the characters in the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
So Jazz Singer was the first one that had actually talkie
Right.
in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
The three characters in the
Oh, I
movie.
see.
Debbie Reynolds, Gene
Right.
Reynolds, and was it Donald O'Connor maybe or something?
Yeah,
Yentl.
Donald Trump,
Remember
yeah.
the movie
Yeah.
Yentl?
Yes.
Yes.
Yenta.
Barbra Streisand.
I always thought
Said
Streisand was attractive. I still do, so, you know.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
even if you
remember
saw
the
it now.
movie she did called Nuts?
Yeah, I
She
do.
was like a nut. She was like a prostitute.
Yeah.
She's like, I get $500 for a hand job. You think I'm crazy?
How about her and Ryan Neal, The Owl and the Pussycat? That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did
The main
the
event.
main event with
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah, great comedies.
What
Speaking
is
of-
your favorite musicals? Anybody?
I like Grease a
I've seen,
lot.
I
Grease
have seen a
liked.
lot. I have seen a
Gre- I
lot.
would have to say Grease, yeah.
West Side Story.
I like that one too.
Me too.
When you're a jet for life.
Actually, I like Chorus
That's
Line.
entertainment.
What's that?
I like a chorus line because of that song is What I Did for Love. But my friend Gerard Esposito sang the best version I ever heard.
I was fascinated
I've
with The
seen
King
Gerard
and
in
I.
a long time.
I like The King and I.
Yeah.
I like the original and the Yul
Yes,
Brynner one.
me too.
I actually saw the play with Yul Brynner in
It's
it live. He had such a
so-
That's
stage
amazing.
presence.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I
and
liked
Constant
Camelot
Towers.
too. Remember Camelot with Richard Harris?
Spamalot, that was a good musical.
That was a great play.
Yeah.
That's to this day, it's my favorite play I ever saw.
I haven't seen Book of Mormon yet, so I can't really say.
I'll throw this out there, Beatlemania.
She wants
Yeah,
to see
that was a
that
great
Shin
play.
Yun.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
She
That
wants to go
looks
see
cool.
it. I wanted to see the one about Gloria Estefan, Get On Your Feet.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. There's one out with Donna Summer. I want to see that one. Where they're doing like and then they got another one out with the Temptations. I've seen the story 20 times already now.
Well, I never been to a place.
Yeah, but they always cut out David Ruffin
You're
too
due.
early.
I never
You're
did.
due.
My wife and I went to a lot.
I've only been to a few Broadway plays. Elephant Man, Beatlemania.
I've seen everything on TV. Like
My favorite play, believe it or not, my favorite play for the longest time, me and my wife, our favorite was The Beauty and the Beast. We saw it
Beauty
twice.
and the Beast.
We loved
That
it because it had everything going for it. Comedy, it's great songs, great sets, great changes, great costumes.
yeah.
And then until we saw Spamalot. When I saw Spamalot, that's my
The
favorite.
one I saw live with Phantom of the Opera was great.
Phantom Opera, we saw that twice.
Really good.
Chicago was great.
I figure about 6 Christmases ago, I took the Dunes to see what with the Harry Potter actor and John Larroquette, How to Succeed in Business Without Really
wow.
Trying. Phenomenal play.
Yeah.
It was me and my daughter. Nothing could beat that, you know.
I loved every play we ever saw. The only play we had never liked, me and my wife
friend was
hated
in that one.
was Cats. We hated Cats.
My friend
Cats
Tammy
was
was the
great,
female in
though.
that one.
Horrible.
With the dark hair, Tammy Blanchard. Yeah,
One good
Really?
One
yeah
good
with the
song.
high school
Wow.
hair.
We had Catherine Narducci on the show, and years ago, it was in the Village in the Minetta Lane Theater. I mean, the theater was the size of this room, like half the size, and they had to get
like 10 people.
It's bigger
Yeah.
than the A Street Theater.
Yeah, they had to get like a special chair because I couldn't fit in the seats because I was big at the time. It was called Six Goombas and a Wannabe, but it was such a cool play. I really enjoyed
How
it.
about Tony and Tina's Wedding? That was a great play to go to. You're actually in the play.
All right.
And nobody comes out of character. No matter
That's pretty
what.
cool.
They don't come out of character.
Well, my big fat gay. Were you in the funeral or?
My
wedding?
big,
Fat Greek
Big
wedding.
fat Greek wedding.
No, he
big-
was in a.
my
play.
big gay
Off
Italian
Broadway.
wedding. Yeah,
My
I was
big
the
Italian
gay
wedding.
wedding officiant.
Well, he
Who
was
else was in
wearing
that?
his really like gold, shiny gold sequins
I
can see
blazer.
that.
Remember?
I had
And
a-
then he had on.
That's very 80s of Carlo.
He had his own Fendi shoes on. It was
Fendi.
so funny because Lou the
Lou
Fork
the Fork.
came to the show and he goes, Where did he get those shoes? He rented them too. I go, no, they're his.
The one thing he didn't need.
Right.
That was fun though. I
Hey,
would do it again.
listen, I still had Mike Capizio's back
So
in
you were
the
an
day.
ass bandit.
Yeah,
He's an ass-
exactly.
He's an asshole bandit.
He
all
was a
right.
bone smuggler?
You should
Yeah.
talk about that.
You were a rump roaster?
It goes right in that bit.
Yeah, that's true.
You were a skin diver?
I was. I was playing the skin flute.
It was so funny though because
It's the only thing that's not in his one-man band.
not to say that he
Skin
wasn't
flute.
good, but he really didn't
It's
perform
in
it
there.
well. He just
Well,
couldn't be
just don't bring it
flamboyantly
out.
gay. Like he
I
couldn't
could-
do it.
You just don't play it.
I don't get it.
That's
'Cause
like
he,
trying to make Marlon Brando
he was
gay.
supposed to be a
Well,
flamboyant
him and,
gay
Richard Pryor.
officiant, and he just didn't like. He didn't do it.
That's another great comedy. Richard Pryor and
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder in
All of those movies.
Silver Streak.
Silver Streak.
They're all good, but and Stir Crazy
Crazy.
was
Stir Crazy
great.
I loved.
The one where he's the
Blind and deaf, right?
Another
No,
They're
no.
together.
See no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah, I like that
not
one.
that one. The one where he's a pathogenic liar, pathological liar.
Oh my God, I know.
The hell
what
is it
you're
called?
talking about.
Oh,
I can't think of it.
He plays Gene Wilder plays a pathological liar, and he finally gets cured, and they let him out. But they put him. But Richard Pryor got busted, so that for community service he has to drive Gene Wilder around, and the story gets out of hand. I forget what the hell's-
Bustin' Loose.
No.
No, I know what you're talking about because they had the bus.
Yeah, what the hell is it? No, that's Bustin' Loose. The bus. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Damn. I'm trying to remember now.
I'm drawing a blank. What the hell was it
That
called?
is so weird.
Great movie. I mean, I love Stir Crazy too, but this movie was.
Everybody loves Grossberger.
Oh, yeah, Grossberger.
Oh, down in the valley.
And he is a trained opera singer too. That actor.
Is he really?
Well, let's
Yes.
talk about what funny gay movie out there.
A funny gay movie.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Birdcage.
Birdcage.
Yeah.
Birdcage, Chuck
did
and
see
Larry.
that.
I now pronounce you.
I like when Robin Williams goes to Nathan Lane. He goes, "Suck it up, act like a man." And he goes, "But you're not a man." He goes, and then Nathan goes, "You bastard!"
Oh my God.
I gotta figure it out. I gotta
can't.
find out what it is.
Say hi to Richard Nashme. He just joined us. And
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Good to hear you, Rich.
Good to see you.
Giselle, I'll tell you, of all the movies I've ever seen in my entire
Silver
life.
Streak?
No, that's The Train, with the first movie they did together.
Brokeback Mountain.
I think the first, the one actress who I've seen more than anybody else is probably Gene Hackman.
Oh,
I got it.
Yeah.
It's called Another You.
Another you. I said that.
You did? I didn't hear you
Yeah.
say it.
I thought it was a movie about sheep.
Yeah, he was there. That's the one where he's blind, ain't it?
No, that's Hear Me No Evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What movie was it with? I think Dan Aykroyd that he I think he loses his kind of identity or something, has amnesia. What movie was that with Dan Aykroyd?
Are you thinking Trading Places?
Is it that?
No, he didn't lose his identity.
Yeah,
They-
they just broke
Oh,
him
they just-
down. Yeah.
That's actually a remake of an older movie.
Okay, I'll buy that. I
What-
don't think I've seen
I
it.
think
but-
John
Trading
Garfield
Places.
was in the original where they had the bet with the two brothers and
I used to hear stories back
And then
in
they
the
were
day
in Once Upon a Time in America. The two old guys.
that
Yeah.
Garfield died in a
Mortimer, we're back.
Mortimer. We're
Garfield apparently died in a whorehouse.
Right.
And the saying back in that day was, "Roll me over, button me up, and call the Undertaker."
back. Now, which Garfield? The cat?
John Garfield.
John Garfield,
Oh,
the
okay.
actor.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Yeah.
What do you call it? That's how Al Capone died. He died of syphilis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No.
He was like actually they found him in his like backyard in his swimming pool with a fishing
Ben
pole. You
Gazzara.
remember he was fishing in his. That was great.
Ben Gazzara.
And you got to name. How about all the Peter Sellers movies?
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
All the Pink
Do you
Panther
remember a
movies.
Frank Sinatra movie? It was a TV movie
Guys and
called
Dolls? Oh.
No,
Contract on Cherry Street.
Yeah.
Great movie. Had everybody
yes.
in it. Harry Gardenia.
I love Harry.
Oh my God, had everybody in it.
Did you guys like all the Elvis movies?
Some of them.
Oh hell no.
Flaming Arrow was a great movie.
Flaming Star.
I think
What was the one with him
King
and Ann Margaret?
Creole was awesome, but that's early
The
Elvis.
one with him and Ann Margaret? I love that.
So Vegas, Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She was in a few of them though.
She was in a few, yeah.
I love that.
I love the majority of them. Some of them got stupid.
But once again, those are movies that I like. They're cool movies. I really enjoy them, but are they great movies?
No.
No.
But I really
But the
like
one
them.
the one he played.
But I
half
will watch
Indian-
them almost any time they're on.
The one we played half Indian, half white guy. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
The Flaming Star.
That's a
Yeah,
great movie.
He played Joe Lightcloud.
Yes.
That was his
Great
name.
movie.
What about old time variety shows?
Carl
Hee
Burnett
haw.
show. Carl Burnett show.
Hee haw.
It's Sullivan.
Laughing.
Because you know it's
Laughing.
Ed
I
Sullivan,
used to
man.
like Benny Hill when I was little.
Is that a variety show,
It's
really?
not really a variety show.
You didn't think so? I thought
It is
was.
kind of. He maybe
Yeah,
throw
because
one
it was
song.
More of a
in.
sketch song.
You
Sketch
man!
song.
always a comedy song.
like a variety, like it had different.
Like
Yeah, but
Hee-Haw
it
was
was just
good.
vignettes. It was just vignettes. It
Paul,
wasn't-
remember? You met another and you were gone.
Ed Sullivan show for sure. Dean Martin on Thursday nights before the
Oh,
roast.
that's the roast, yeah.
Yeah, before the roast. Dean
Yeah.
Martin hour.
Red
Oh.
Skelton, Danny Kaye.
in my age group in Living Color.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
That was a great show. I
The
liked
first
it.
3 years of Living Color was great.
J-Lo was one of the dancers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a fly girl.
Yep.
I liked Jim Carrey. Was it Fire Marshal Bill?
Jim
Fire-
Carrey was funny back then.
Fire was
something.
your friend.
Let me tell you something.
Did you
Let me
guys
show you something.
What was the name of the clown? The
I love
Homie the
Mad
Clown.
Homie the Clown.
Mad TV. What? It was
Two snaps up?
so much better than Saturday
That
Night
was a
Live
good
at that
bit.
point.
Mad TV was great. Artie Lang did really good
Yeah.
on it. I loved that.
Have you seen a picture of Artie lately, like from the cover of his new book?
Fortunately.
The nose is all
It's a shame.
disformed. And
It's, that's a
yeah.
really good book to bring to like rehab centers.
Oh, and he says why? It's from all the blow he's done. It's,
I
his
mean,
nose
it's
is
just-
permanently messed up.
It's sad, but that's the reality of it.
Artie was telling
You
me
know?
a story one time that, like, when he went down to Florida to rehab, the guy, there was this guy who was like, he would organize all the events, and his name was Dave. And he used to wake him up in the morning, like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he used to imitate the guys. He goes, Artie, it's 7 o'clock. It's time for group. And Artie said, I would call this guy the most god-awful names. He was telling him, he goes, I felt so bad. He must have been saying, go fuck yourself, waking him up. But then he said, the funniest thing about it, like when Artie would ever say anything, he goes, shove the group up your ass. And then the guy, Dave would go, Artie, how am I going to shove the group up my ass? He was just go back and forth with them all.
Have you seen his movie from years ago, Beer League?
I loved
Love
it.
Beer
Loved
League.
it.
I
The Ralph Macchio movie?
Every time I see it, it grows on me more and more
it's
and
funny.
more. Oh,
Jimmy
God.
Palumbo was in it.
Yeah.
And who's
Great movie, man.
Yeah.
The chick with the wiffle ball bat.
How about
Oh,
movies
the-
like? How about movies like that? Well, movies that when you first went in the movies, you didn't like them that much. When then, as you were on TV, then that you
Beer
grew
League's
on-
one of them. Keeps growing on me, man.
Well, I knew
movies
not to
do
waste
that.
money in the theater to see it. I knew I was going to be on video real
Gisella's
soon.
favorite movie was Miracles from Heaven.
No,
We went to rent it at the Red Box, and I thought it
no,
was like
he
a-
went to rent it.
I said, I'll get a movie, and I thought it was like a cute movie. It turns out it's like the saddest movie about this mother whose daughter's got cancer, and she's trying to get her treatments, and then at the end of the movie, she falls out of a tree, hits her head, and she's cured.
You know what movie that reminds me of? Dog's Purpose.
Dogs, okay.
I was watching. I was expecting this cute movie about the guy and his dog. I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, it's like an hour and a half later. I'm crying. I'm like, I recommend that movie. If you haven't seen it. It's
I
really
went to
good.
see-
Hi, Darlene. How are you?
He had us watching
Darlene.
Instant Family, and that was sad.
I thought it was going to be like a funny thing, but then it turned out to be like serious
Yeah.
shit.
I mean,
I
it was a
like,
great movie, but like
Dog's Purpose. It's basically the life of one dog who's
different
reincarnated.
owners.
But he's reincarnated, and it finally ends up with his original
Dennis
owner.
Quaid's in that, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a promo for it.
remember the.
It winds up being the original owner though from when he was a puppy. I'm like, oh my god, I was hysterical. At that
All right,
point.
raise your hand.
I'm cheering up thinking about it.
Whoever
gotta see that.
who cried when Old Yeller died?
And when Cochise died,
How about that sad movie with the dogs, Marley and Me? That was sad.
that was fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
it was funny and sad at the same time.
All right, we're getting out of here, but I went to see Longshot last month. Charlize Theron is the most empirically beautiful
love her.
woman I've
She's my favorite.
seen.
Right, she was so hot in Monster.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's my favorite. I love her.
it's okay. It's all right. It's all relative, man.
Yeah.
You ever see was it Atomic Blonde? That's a great movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
Great
Nobody
movie.
liked
She plays-
Jessica.
Valley of the Dolls,
Roger Rabbit.
Roger Paul.
Jessica
Ca-
Rabbit.
what is it?
Jessica Rabbit
Diaz,
was
Cameron
hot.
Diaz?
No, it's Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner's voice.
Oh, right. Okay.
You see her now, man. We saw her
Oh
at
my
Chiller,
God,
man. She's
she
like,
looks hideous.
Well, that's kind of why they made her body a cartoon because they saw what it was turning into at that point. So that was the last time she looked that good.
she was a hot mama back,
back
in
when
the
she was
Warner
doing-
Rose.
yeah.
That's what
Body
happens
Heat.
when you romance the stone too long.
Romancing the Bone? Yeah.
Body Heat. When she was in Body Heat, that's what she
9.5
was.
weeks. I was
yeah.
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
No, give me Charlize Theron.
I agree
was
with
like,
you. I love Charlize.
You're
Theron.
I'm a
Charlize
Mila
Theron
Kunis.
brand.
I was stunned when I saw her in this movie. I really was, man. I was like, wow.
How about
Oh
the
my
Italian Job?
God.
She's great in that one too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Is she the
That's a
one
good remake.
Is she in the? Is she's the one that's in the last one they did with the Fast and the Furious? Is that her?
Don't know.
Sorry,
Haven't
I don't
seen it,
With
but
the Fate of the Furious.
Don't know.
I haven't seen that since the second
no,
one. I'm good.
no.
She plays the bad girl in that.
Mighty Joe Young. She was pretty hot in that
Before
too.
we
Yeah.
go, a commercial jingle that stood out.
How about Devil's Advocate?
Love Devil's Advocate.
Oh, with that
Great movie.
Pacino.
That's a great movie
a
overall.
great-
What's
Yeah.
my name? So many names.
Great
Yeah.
movie. And the
Great-
ending.
greatest-
The ending is classic.
Very underrated,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
I
Great-
like Double Jeopardy. That was awesome.
Oh,
That's
with
good,
Ash,
yeah.
The ending of Devil's Advocate's great.
Yeah.
It's all going to happen again.
All right. Real quick, favorite commercial jingle. Radio, TV.
Any jingle. Well, it has to be radio if it's jingle.
It could be anything. It could be TV commercial.
There was a
radio
country
commercial.
western singer, can't remember his name, around 1971. It was a Coca-Cola commercial. I want to sing my song like I never sang before. And he's singing on a mountaintop.
Oh, wow.
I hope you don't mind while I sip on my Coke. Oh, it's great. Then all you see all these.
I like to buy the world a Coke.
Right. To buy the world.
Like, whatever happened to that
That is
commercial? That
so
was a
funny.
good one. I think the world needs more of that right now.
We need
I
more
agree.
Coke. No,
Not even so much.
Ask Angel.
Just anything like, hey, we only. It was the whole message was let's just get together and
There-
have some fun.
Billy Joe Royal.
There you go.
That's his name.
There was a
Love this
commercial
Coke.
that they used to play during the football games. It was about these bunch
Mean
of
Joe
guys-
Green throwing his jersey at a kid.
That's my favorite.
That's
of
a
all
classic.
time. But that's not like a song.
It's not a jingle.
But it was
My balls jingled with it because I thought I was the kid.
These guys were all over one person's house, and somebody sends
What's
them
that?
pizzas. So the guy's like, all right, I got your pizzas here. It's pepperoni this and double anchovy. He goes, only Richie Kelly orders double anchovy. And it's
remember
sitting pretty all
kinda
together
remember
in
this.
Schaefer City. And
I
it was
kinda
it was-
remember this.
Oh, it was a great.
Oh, my God.
It was in the early 80s. Marv Albert is doing the Jet games on NBC.
Yes!
Every commercial break, they would play the guitar licks from Sausalito Summer Night. Do you remember that
Yes.
group called Diesel?
Rick Mahorn for
That was
three.
great. I love that song.
Yes!
I was hacked on the play.
I used to love when I was little for that chocolate-coated ice cream, coated rich and smooth, no room for a stick. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
You can take Salem out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Salem.
Remember Shay said when you go to the movies, we're not candy, or let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby.
George, you have a boy inside with a funny place where a boy can hide.
Oh, is that Buster Brown? Yeah.
Mr. Brown. Great
All
show.
right, Dave, what do you got coming up besides the tremendously successful, uncomfortably funny podcast on Monday night, 7 to 9?
I have Friday night. I will be at Bill's Barbecue Shack, Jersey Shore Comedy Club. I'm
Who's
hosting.
with you on that?
I'm hosting the show. Bob Pearsall is opening up. John Kirshner is going to feature, and Mike Sicoli's headlining that one.
Good.
And tomorrow night, me and Paul are starting a feature set mic room up in Morristown.
Cool. Feature set? Okay.
Yeah, I've been
Everybody
seeing.
doing it for
Yeah,
10, 15 minutes
I've been
each.
seeing the PR for that on Facebook. Right.
Morristown? That's a hike.
Yeah.
What are you going to call it?
Well, the name of the place is Tiff's. They like to promote Tiff's comedy, so we were thinking about doing Tiff's Top 10 because we were all doing our top 10 minutes,
That's a
top
good
10,
idea.
15 minutes.
That works.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's cool.
Well, everybody walks in, take a look at those tiffs. You know, that's good.
It was actually
Triple T.
Yeah.
it was pitched by Bob Levy to me and Paul to talk to the owner to do that. He's like, the guy wants more shows here. Do more shows. Get a mic in here. Get people doing longer time. Fuck this 5 minute shit. It's all bullshit. You're never gonna involve us comedians.
Yeah.
What do you do in 5 minutes?
What that? You can't. I can't even wipe my ass for 5 minutes.
Dante did 7 minutes.
Tips top
I
10.
know.
It was good.
Tips top 10.
Yeah,
Triple
it's
T.
Yeah.
Tim, when is your big event?
Well, before that, next Tuesday night up in Little Ferry at Nicky's. I'm doing a 10-minute
Nice.
set there.
That's a fun room.
Yeah, it is. It is. The 15th, Saturday the 15th, 9 p.m.
At the
City
City
Streets
Streets,
Bar
yeah.
and Grill or Station, whatever
you
it's called.
going?
City
You're working.
Streets.
And Paul, what are you? You doing Holiday Inn?
June 14th, I'm playing Howard Johnson's.
Howard Johnson.
You can go to Holiday Inn, you get a good seat, but I won't
Yeah.
be there. Howard
always
Johnson's
get them
on
too confused,
I know,
but-
or a lot of people do. But Howard Johnson's on the 14th, and 15th I'll be in Millville at Jenny Lou's.
Jenny's.
place.
Oh, that's.
Michael Johnson's right. Howard Johnson has a good point over there.
Harumph.
Har-
I didn't get a rumph out of
Joe,
you.
you want to plug your site?
Not really, not now.
No? Okay. All right, guys. We will see you all next week.
Oh, wait,
with
the
a-
words.
Oh, the words of the week.
Mischievous,
Yes.
and my favorite, ostentatious.
Ostentatious. And I want to thank you all for being patient and welcoming us back.
Welcoming.
And Dave got here just in time to go home.
We
Yes.
said before the show started that he's high functioning autistic.
Yes. So we'll see you all next week. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
Peace out.
Woo-hoo!